meet and drink thing, and
it's actually tight.
I was like, yeah, we'll come by. He's like, all right, cool. I was like, looking forward to it. He's like, okay, bye, because that's his thing, like, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's his inside joke.
But it's like, okay, I guess this conversation's over. Anyway, we're live.
Is this going right now?
We're live.
Fuck. Every podcast starts off like that, by the way.
There's
like,
wait,
wait.
we don't know it's on.
Is this like?
So does it stream live? Like, how does it end up doing like a podcast? Like, is it a record thing and then there's a clip later? Like, we get a minute to make us sound better than we really are?
No, we're going, dude.
We're going.
Okay.
We record.
like that's the. Thanks for the
that's
intro.
the intro, right?
Oh,
there.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys.
My podcast.
Yeah. Welcome back to the We Are Gunsmith podcast with your boy Rob TRAMONTE.
James Mooney.
And today we have a guest, Alex Whitaker.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Alex, you want to just give a brief little background on who you are, or where you're from, and all that awesome stuff?
Keep it brief.
So, probably the thing I end up getting asked the most is, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're trying to ask, like, why am I big, or like, what do I do according to like the federal government? Like, what are my taxes based on? Like, what's my job? And honestly, at this point, I'm not really sure. Quick background, I was into powerlifting for a really, really long time, took that into Strongman, and that was my life. I lived and breathed anything 45 pounds in a gym. I got hurt pretty bad, snapped both my arms off, 2 ruptured biceps, some spinal fractures.
For the iTunes listeners, how tall are you and your weight and stuff, so people get a rough idea?
I used to be 6'5", and I really like to say it sometimes, but when someone calls you on your shit that you're not 6'5",
it's a little embarrassing. When
and it's like, you don't know, and like, I'm 6'5", so yeah. But no, I'm 6'4". I always walk around about 300 pounds, and I have since about 15, 16 years old. So I've been.
You were 300 pounds at 15 years old?
Yeah, I've been some form,
that
shape, or version of like 300, better or worse versions for the last 13, 14 years.
Everybody goes through that.
You'd probably be 6'6" if you hadn't done so many years of heavy squats, though, right?
Like 2 spinal fractures in my low back. I mean, if there's something on this, I have torn it, broken it somehow. But oddly enough, I feel fucking great. Like, good shoulders, good knees. I don't have a lot of back pain. I mean, for 15 years of like heavy mileage wear and tear, I'm not as jacked up as you should be.
Yeah,
right.
You're not like Ronnie Coleman, like wheelchair, both hips replaced.
He's fucked. Yeah. Shout out to Ronnie.
Yeah. He's coming back. I think he's coming back right now.
If you want to get on the podcast, it's all good.
But no, I'm not too beat up. I still get to train a lot. I train about 5-6 days a week, 2.5 hours between dancing like a big bear, listening to whatever weird music, or honestly just being on my phone too much. Like, I live and run all my companies through my phone.
Yeah, dude.
So like, we break an iPhone.
Everybody
I go
does.
into the Apple store, losing gears, dead bodies everywhere. Because I'm like, hey, dude, 6 companies, 1 iPhone. Like, do the math. Like, we're leaving with a phone, and I break a phone on average once every like 3 months.
So out of those 6 companies, what do you want to explain?
So we do a clothing line that's going to be coming out with our new gym, and we're not trying to go super gangbusters into online Instagram famous clothing.
The 6 companies, it's all fitness?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 2 investment companies. We do some property stuff. We've got a big gym dropping in Salem, brand new 15,000 square foot building. It's West Coast strength, but we call it the Northwest Mecca. And then I've had a nutrition store for about the last 6 years. Our bodybuilding company, which is probably the thing that most people end up knowing me from, good or bad, is that we do a lot of bodybuilding. So we've got about 200 clients, athletes we keep on a roster, and that's a variety, whether it's a girlfriend wants to do the first show, somebody wants to lose a bunch of weight, a pro. We've had some people in the Olympia. So it's a variety of talent. But yeah, a couple hundred athletes is usually what we actively keep on the roster. So people come and go. Like, you're going to be some guys might be in off season for a year, and they're still one of our guys. They show back up. They want to compete again.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
All
That's a
sorts
lot
of
of
weirdos.
fucking people.
So what's your goal with bodybuilding? Like, as far as like having clients, you want to be known
world
as like
domination.
Okay.
So originally, we
Coming for you, Haney.
We got into bodybuilding. I had an
dude.
ex-girlfriend that I trained, and she got into bodybuilding. A bunch of people started kind of following her, and she was a younger gal competing. And then, I don't know if you guys know him, but Noel Fuller is a pro coach.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
He's been coaching pros since like the 80s. So like, dude, we were in diapers, and this dude was kicking ass and taking names. Well, he was a really close friend, and he was her coach. He got me into bodybuilding, and I started working with a couple clients, and we took 6 entries to the first show we ever went to, and it went first, second, first, second, first, second. So 3 firsts, 3 seconds. The first time we'd ever had like a crew of athletes in a show.
That's
and we're
awesome.
like, all right, well, we didn't
Like-
fuck up that bad.
Yeah,
So
like,
like, maybe we should try to go.
We
with
might
this
be
little-
pretty good at it.
And so next show, we got about 15, 20 entries in it, and it just kind of snowballed from there. We got a lot of cool athletes, a lot of good people that show support. Bodybuilding is a narcissistic, like crazy industry. Like people are fucking nuts in bodybuilding.
Oh yeah.
You almost have to be to a certain degree.
Yeah, like there's definitely some
like
commonalities for personality that you're going to see the same type of weirdo or same types of folks.
It attracts a certain crowd.
You always hear big time bodybuilders, like real successful ones, saying it's like the most selfish sport.
Yeah, I mean, they're like in this, like hood up Spartan mentality, like me against the world. They get pretty into it. So originally, I didn't want anything to do with bodybuilding, dude. Like I was a powerlifter, and like I said, fat, strong guys. We don't like, like skinny, ripped guys. It just wasn't my thing. Guys. We fell into it on accident. It ended up becoming a really cool thing. We kind of over about a 1 or 2 year period went from who are you to as far as like Oregon to Washington. Did a pretty quick takeover of the industry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good coaches. There's a lot of good companies out there. I just think we scaled it to be pretty large pretty quickly. To manage, a couple hundred athletes, to be bringing 15, 20 athletes to each show, and to have, probably maybe a heavy emphasis and focus on winning, but more of the fact that winning is a side effect, that I just want you to get better. And a girl, she's getting ready for the Olympia, and all she cares about is how she's going to place. So taking the mindset off of like, well, I don't really care how you're going to place. Like I need the very, very best you.
Yeah.
Because I've had athletes where they cut corners and maybe they're very talented or very gifted, but they're not winning shows because they did their best. Like just nobody better showed up. So our emphasis for our athletes, whether it was football guys, sprinters, rugby, basketball, because our background was in athletes. We didn't want to fuck with bodybuilding, but our focus was always on just being like the best that you can be on that. The rest is going to fall where it's going to fall. Maybe a judge doesn't like you. Maybe you look like the girlfriend that broke up with the judge in the third grade. And you're like, you know what? Fuck that girl. I'm going to place her last. You never know what's going to happen in a judge sport. So we kind of took the emphasis off of winning. And when we did that, we started to win more.
It's funny how that works.
It's probably a lot more gratifying too for you.
Yeah, I mean, you can, because there's enough times where I probably get a little bit too worked up in bodybuilding. It's a judge sport, so I have my opinion. The judge has theirs. I try and be pretty blunt with my athletes. Like they'll come off stage and they'll be like, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think I got?" Probably second or third, and they're like, "Really?
That's good."
I thought I had like maybe first. I'm like, "Nope," and I'll just let them know.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to fluff their ego. I'm just setting them up. I'm letting them know what I see and how I feel about it. But bodybuilding, like if I say like first, I'm usually pretty deadlocked on the I think so-and-so got first or second or whatever.
Yeah.
So you see athletes that maybe don't place what you thought they were going to place, and it's like
it gets a little frustrating.
It's a grain of salt. Yeah, like bodybuilding, because powerlifting, I mean, I pick up 700 pounds or 800 pounds, you pick up 900, like you win, I lose. It's just math.
Cut and dry.
So, and that's like, there's something really comfortable about knowing that absolute fact of whether you're better or not. For sure. Bodybuilding questions that. I mean, it's a judge sport.
Oh yeah,
There's 7 judges up there, man.
I think that's why it turns off a lot of people, is because of the judge. There's like, it's so subjective. Like you could go to one show and the judge has this guy at first and this guy at second, and you go to another show and that guy maybe places fourth. It kind of turns off some people because of
I know every time I'll tweet out like, do you guys think bodybuilding's a sport? It's, dude, people go fucking nuts.
Yeah, I bet.
And there's a lot of good points and stuff. And like, I just let them.
This is what a sport is. This is what a sport is. And like, people get
it's crazy
into it.
I don't know. I mean, like, what do you think?
Oh man, right?
Put him on the spot right there.
The wrong thing. Like half my roster disappears overnight.
Wait, whatever you say, we're gonna give people confidence. It's great.
You're not gonna make anybody happy by your answer.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Judge sports are different. I mean, you played football. You've done the lifting stuff. So like my background is similar to yours. Like I come from these what I feel are legitimate sports, and like this is the score. How you win and lose. Is it a sport? Yeah, but it's a weird industry. It's a weird hobby. Like, I mean, bodybuilding has just kind of become its own thing. Like, keep in mind, rewind, dude, 7, 8, 9 years ago, bodybuilding, what you guys know, and all these clothing lines, all these things exist. Like, it wasn't here.
No,
bikini wasn't here. Physique wasn't here. We're talking like women's bodybuilding, men's bodybuilding. That's it. There are 30 athletes in a show. You go to a show now, like even our shows in Oregon, which are really well run, do 300, 400 entries.
Oh, it's insane.
And we're in Lincoln City, Oregon. Lincoln City, Oregon's not a big place.
No.
You got 400 entries, like not bad.
Yeah, dude.
So it's a sport, hobby, like however you want to put it, like whatever it is, it's freaking big and everybody's doing it. Everybody's girlfriend wants to do a bikini show.
I was gonna say, especially both of our girls do bikini.
Yeah.
So like we, sit there and watch them and stuff. And there's like 40 chicks on stage at once, like at every class.
Well, your
And it's
girlfriend's
like,
competed
goddamn.
before. Has yours competed yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did Lincoln, or no, yeah, she did Lincoln.
Everybody's
City
still
this
in a
past year.
relationship. Nobody's dead.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah, I know.
like
There is-
relatively.
there
It
were
worked
some, there were
out.
some
It worked
close
out.
calls there, though. You know,
Dude.
some diet issues there.
Yeah, it's
Getting
nuts.
killed.
Dude,
But
I'm a cranky bastard, honestly. I died in
man.
about 30 seconds. Like, my grandma told me that, McDonald's was good because it had high protein. Got to eat extra Oreos. Got to stay big.
Extra
So
Oreos.
I come from a food family and a food culture, and it's
Yeah.
what makes me like feel good.
Yeah,
So,
dude. I can see that.
I enjoy food too much to diet year long like that.
Yeah, I know.
Because I did a couple shows and it was cool. I mean, having abs is sweet, but I'd like to eat some pizza too.
I'd really like abs. I'm gonna be like totally, it's like a fat kid wanting to score a touchdown, right? Like I've wanted that my whole life. Like abs, like I'm still maybe into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you did a show too, right?
Yeah. So my thing, and
I think we were at that show.
Yeah, we were. I think we were at that show.
For
Yeah.
me personally, other than I get the itch every once in a while, I don't have a super strong interest to compete in bodybuilding. I got to do powerlifting. I got paid some money to do powerlifting. I got to do strongman. So like to do two sports professionally, get paid for them, like it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty enjoyable, but bodybuilding is not my gig. But since I am not a bodybuilder by trade and I'm, a big heavy lifter, I was catching some shade a couple years ago for the fact that I'd never done a show. And I have a lot of clients, a lot of bodybuilders. So what I did was I dieted for 38 weeks and I dropped 85 pounds.
Holy shit!
Fuck,
That's
dude.
a long time.
And
to
it
diet.
didn't go like super well. In the process, I probably lost about 35 pounds of muscle mass. And it was rough. Like,
Really?
There's the crankiest boyfriend in the world. I was meeting my clients and my athletes. Like, it was a bitch. I was
Damn.
doing cardio 3 times a day. I starved for it. And it was simply the first time ever competing, dropping that much body weight. And I was glad I did it. I pulled it off. I got to put my middle finger up and say, like, hey,
Yeah.
here it is.
I did a show.
Yeah.
Happy,
and,
happy
but-
fuckers.
Yeah, and then everybody
Right,
kind of
yeah.
backed off, and then we continued to do a little bit better, get a little bit bigger, and realistically, like I don't need to compete. Like my athletes need to compete. If I go up and compete, like I better be the sharpest looking
Yeah.
damn thing in the world. Otherwise, as far as how it makes our company look, it's not helpful.
Oh no, it doesn't benefit you at
You know,
all.
the very, very best athletes that never lose, and all of a sudden I go up and look like a sack of shit. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I look better with a drink and a date. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
feel you
to
on that.
reinvent the wheel with bodybuilding. Like my business, or not my business, my focus on my sport simply is business.
Right.
So we've got a variety of companies. All of them have different functions and different things that we want to do with them, and they are scaled to go a little bit more corporate. Like our big gym, it's supposed to be kind of a mixture of in between hardcore and in between corporate, but like that gym in that building is so expensive and so crazy that it's like, well, we still need X thousand members.
Yeah, you still have to.
Yeah.
In
meet
Oregon,
some-
dude, like
meet
it's
some
not the most
things.
hardcore fitness thing in the world.
Right. Yeah.
So we've kind of designed our stuff to be a little bit different, to take into consideration all the varieties of fitness, diverse communities, and I still want to have some fun and smash some weights, be a little rowdy, maybe listen to some bad music
Yeah.
while we do it too. So
Yeah.
it's still got to be you. I don't want to open up a gym and have it be this preface cookie cutter thing that's not genuine of like who I am or the company or the athletes.
Yeah.
But some of our shit's a little scary. So like,
Yeah, you don't
it's
wanna
like finding
scare
the
off
right
the
mix
average
and the right
person.
tone for us to be able to do a corporate style like large club, but still be genuine on like, hey, we're a hardcore company. We've been in bodybuilding, lifting, sports, and just kind of trying to take that energy and enthusiasm and go on a bigger level with it. I haven't seen a lot of small companies be able to take the jump to go from kind of the niche and hardcore side of what they're doing to like scale it into a corporate level.
Yeah.
No,
We were
they-
talking
I don't know
They
if a lot
always
of people
lose it when they try to scale. It just becomes too corporate when they try to scale to a larger audience.
Well, even just
yeah.
on like the financial thing, like
Yeah.
I mean, it's you're talking millions in a
Oh, yeah.
project to be able to like really pull it off and do the thing. You were talking about Robin and Dana Lynn Bailey, like now they have like that's kind of what they did. I mean, they've got this big like in between corporate culture and genuine
Yeah.
organic
Yeah,
homegrown.
they've done a really good job.
I can't say we're trying to do anything like anybody else, and I'm not saying that's because like we're so special, we're so unique.
Yeah.
Like we're just honestly trying to figure it out and do our own thing along the way. And I think people are pretty cool with us, and they like it, and they're about it, and we have a good vibe, and it's a fun time. So
Yeah.
we're still going.
Is the goal to eventually franchise a little bit?
So right now we've got a couple other gyms planned. There's one that's going to go on the coast in a couple years. I've gotten approached to gyms like out of state in different places, Washington. The guy who owns our building thinks that we would do really well in Texas and Oklahoma, and I'm like, well, West Coast.
Yeah,
So-
Doesn't really.
West Coast of
And I'm in
Texas.
a little bit over my head right now, dude. Like I'm still trying to fill out my britches a little bit. So as far as like the thoughts down the road, like let's get out of like the next year
Yeah.
and make sure I'm not
Right.
dead,
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I think for us, like the goal is to pretty quickly have like a couple locations, and not to make it where like they all look and feel the same, because I feel like these gyms, if like what I say is what I want to make or what it's supposed to really be, it's supposed to match the community,
Yeah.
and a demographic should be probably kind of specific for the area and the culture that you live in. So my gym, my club is very much designed around who and what the community is like within 5-10 minutes of us, whether that's the sports, the moms, the hardcore side, the bodybuilding side, all of it is kind of taken into consideration to make sure that gym, that club doesn't look and feel like, oh, I go to West Coast Strength in Medford.
Yeah.
There's not a Medford location plan. That's not a real thing, but it's, you know, like,
Breaking news.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, that's it. Yeah. Have you noticed that like Rob and I always talk about it, like fitness and like the fitness industry is not big in Oregon at all, but it's starting to pick up. And like, have you noticed that like around where you're at? Because you're up north a little bit more than us.
So one of the things I probably noticed the most is it's like big fish, small pond. So I am from a small town. I'm from Astoria. It's got 10,000 people. I moved to Monmouth. Who knows where Monmouth is? Like not many people, other than
Yeah, I
if
think
you
I've driven
are
through
from
there.
Monmouth or went to school there, or maybe you got drunk there once when
Yeah.
your friend was in college who also went to Western.
Right.
or Monmouth. It's not an exciting
Western.
place. I now live in Salem, which is a little bit bigger. But what I've noticed about the fitness industry is like here, although it might not be very big for total population, like everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's good and that's bad.
Right.
Like, oh, fuck
Dude, there's-
that guy or
yeah.
whatever, you know, but
There's pros and cons.
everybody knows everyone, whether it's the athletes competing, the judges, the contest, but like, I feel like fitness is a big deal everywhere. We just aren't a state that has
Yeah.
like the depth quite like California.
Oh, yeah.
It's
You go to
10
California,
times the
everybody's
10 times the
jacked.
population of the state of Oregon lives in LA County.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of taken off because bodybuilding's a big deal here. CrossFit's a big deal here. Dude, we're in Grants Pass, and there's multiple powerlifting gyms. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I think it's
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems like it's taken off.
That's the cool thing about like CrossFit and powerlifting is just like the community of it.
Yeah.
I think people want to, like when you go into a CrossFit gym, it's like you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are like motivating you. I don't know if every single one's the same, but like that's what,
Yeah. I mean, for the most
You know,
part, it's
yeah.
like that. Like I had a client and she was kind of hesitant to do the powerlifting thing. And she did it just because, you know, she was strong as shit. I was like, you should do a show or you
Yeah.
should do an event. And she's a little hesitant. And she ended up doing it, and just the community of people around,
It's
like
so
everybody's
cool.
super supportive, and she fell in love with it. And she tries to do, you know, multiple competitions a year now because of that. Just
Yeah.
the community of people around her.
everyone's cheering you on and like,
Yeah, people you don't even know. It's cool.
yeah.
CrossFit seems to have a lot of that. CrossFit, I mean, powerlifting, when I was in powerlifting, it was not super cool. I feel like powerlifting is way more
Oh, no,
cool
it's-
now.
yeah.
Dude,
And
it's
I'm kind of
growing.
envious that like I missed the window on like when it was cool to do powerlifting.
Is it too late for you to get back into it?
Dude, I'm so broken and beat up, and like, I mean, I'm honestly not strong unless I'm like 330, 340 mechanically. That's where my body likes to do cool shit and be strong.
Okay. Good leverage and stuff. And
Yeah,
that-
like my mechanics are so different. And between all the injuries, it just seems like it's a lot for a little at this point. And at this point, I love to train. I get to train 5 or 6 days a week, and I go in for 2.5 hours. I might mess around on my phone a little bit too much, but like I get to go and genuinely have a good time to train. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not heavy weights for me, but I still get to push some weight. I move around. I do a lot of endurance stuff, a lot of bodybuilding and volume, and most of that's just adjusted training that like I have to train a certain way for how beat up my body is now.
Right.
And not because I have like these long-term chronic pain issues, but I've simply adapted and learned like what does my body like and what feels good.
It's not gonna
'cause
fuck
I'm a
you up
300-pound dude. Like I don't fit well in like cars, like ergonomic.
Yeah.
I'm designed to die very young. So like and that's okay.
Okay.
Like, again, like
That's
hopefully,
the-
I'm designed
definitely-
to do several things well, just for short durations of time. And like, I mean, when's the last time you saw a 300-pound, like 6'4", like 85-year-old? Right? You see cute little old grandpas.
That's
You don't
true.
see
Yeah.
like, you know, Austrian oaks running around anymore. So
Well, if this is the last time we see you,
Yeah.
it was
no,
fun.
I'm 28. I still like. I have a couple sets of plans. There's still some people I would love to piss off, so I'm gonna be here for a minute. But
there you go.
like 85 years old, like I don't know.
It's pushing the envelope a little bit. Who knows though? Nowadays with stem cells and all that shit, you could be 100. Who knows?
Yeah, dude.
I have some athletes doing that right now.
Really?
Some stem cell stuff. Yeah.
No
it's
shit.
nuts.
Have they gone to Panama yet?
What's that?
Have they gone to Panama yet to get the good stuff?
No, what was it? Dan Bilzerian, right?
Yeah.
That's the Panama thing. Like
Yeah.
go there to get the best stem cells. I have an athlete having an entire shoulder completely rebuilt and done. We're talking, I mean, all parts of her rotator cuff are torn, her biceps torn, front head. I mean, her labrum, complete labrum tear, AC separation. I mean, she's got
Oh fuck.
the alternate to what their approach was to rebuild her entire shoulder. And we're talking like take it and put a new shoulder in. I don't know what that looks like or how that goes. Like, do we
sounds
literally take the
terrible.
arm off or what?
Yeah.
But, like, when you say new shoulder, like, I've got a visualization.
Like,
of what
can I
this
sculpt
looks like.
it so she looks good on stage?
So-
Readjust some muscle attachments.
So what do you attribute to you being so beat up? Is it mostly like strongman stuff or the powerlifting or just
a little bit of powerlifting. So like numbers for me, like I was not a strong kid in high school. I was goofy, chubby. I got picked on. I was a band kid and grandma's boy. Like me in World of Warcraft, like that was like my jam in high school.
But you were 300 pounds. You think you'd be like out there? Like that's a starting O lineman, right?
But an Oreo 300 pounds.
Yeah, so
right.
I'm
It's a whole different.
And my grandma
still
said,
big
my
as
grandma
fuck.
said I was
Plug a
too
hole.
small. Grandma says, you're too small. You're gonna get hurt. Can't play football. I was
Too
like,
small? Too small.
Yeah, right. And like, I
What
mean,
football is she watching?
That's
crazy.
We're super protective, grandma. Like I'm the baby. Of the
She's
family.
watching some big ass
Yeah,
dudes.
it's
Yeah.
important. But I got into lifting in high school, and my buddy walked me into the weight room, and I didn't want to go in when anybody was in there because I was too shy and embarrassed to be in there. So
Yeah,
he gets
dude.
the keys from a
I
coach.
think
He brings me in there,
Everybody's been through that.
and he teaches me how to squat with like the bar.
Yeah.
And we work up, and after an hour, I do 135 pounds. I'm 14 years old. It's like my freshman year. I do like the big wheel, right?
Oh,
like, that's a
shit.
big, yeah, right? Like I've seen this on TV. Like I'm real.
Let's go.
So I squat 135. I take a weight training class the next year, and I kind of said I got like bullied and picked on a little bit. Well, you get to the end of the class, you got to do a 1 rep max, and you got to get a partner to come in and sign for you for it. So like, okay, well, nobody would be my partner for it. Like, right. And this is like a sad puppy moment of
wow.
life. So I go down to the very last
Like,
squat rack.
nobody would just spot you.
Yeah. Right. Like fucked.
Fucking assholes, man.
So
kids
I go
suck.
down, I do a 300-pound squat, I write it down, I go up to the coach, and he said, there's no signature, it doesn't count. And I try and like quietly, like shyly say like, well, like nobody would, spot me. And he kind of, you can tell like really quickly, he saw what's going on. He pats me on the shoulder, he says, you're good, no worries. So I was like 15. So it goes like 15 years old, had a 300-pound squat.
Jesus.
Next year goes 440. My senior year, I squat 600. And then got some sponsorship stuff for Inzer and started like going for
shit.
powerlifting. So like that was my jam. And I think a lot of it was just lifting really heavy at a young age. Like my first 700-pound pull, I was 20 as a natural athlete. So I mean, I think a lot of it was putting my body through the ringer at a really young age.
Yeah, not even realizing it.
I was still kind of growing into my body.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I think the list is this: 10 to 12 pec tears on the right side, 2 or 3 on the left, 2 rotator,
10 to 12?
partial tears in the pec.
What the
Left
fuck?
rotator cuff is torn twice. I blown the popliteus off my knee. My hamstring has had like a big tear like 2 or 3 times. I fractured my spine twice, snapped both biceps off completely.
Oh.
That was 5 or 6 years ago. I had reconstructive arm surgery. And I mean, a trap, and I've torn a lot of shit.
Okay.
And so I think a lot of it simply is I had an agenda. I had some things I wanted to do, and I was really focused on it. I didn't want to negotiate any of those. So I wasn't super patient. I did train intelligently and smart, and I was training out of Westside Barbell, and I was fortunate enough to have a lot of support and like have Louie and a bunch of cool guys around me giving me the right ways to do things. But we just kind of found out my body likes to break. Like tendons and ligaments on my body seem to want to go.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's just because I was strong at a young age or what, but I think it's just simply the mileage. Because I'll tell somebody like, oh, my body's beat up. And they're like, oh, you're only 28. Like,
Yeah, like
after
everybody-
15 years of like heavy.
Yeah, dude.
that,
You're probably like 40 body wise, 40,
Yeah.
45.
But like I said, no chronic pain. Like my shoulders, like I get to train while I do feel good. I just can't go out and do either what I used to do or what I wish I could do. So
you said in your past, like people bullied you and all that kind of stuff. Does that drive you to do anything today?
yeah,
Or is
I'm
that
a
like
cranky son of a bitch, dude. Yeah.
like when you do something dope, are you just like, yeah, fuck all you guys?
I feel like maybe a lot more a few years ago. At this point, with the last few years, because the last 5 years has been like hell. Like it's not been a super fun time. Like the posts are cool. We've gotten to make some money, do some cool things, and have a good time doing it. But like
Just
it's
a lot of work.
scratching and clawing.
Yeah.
A
lot of stuff people
90,
don't
100-hour
see.
work weeks for the last like 6 years. Like enough failed relationships to make my own book about them. Like it's cost a lot. But I feel like at this point, I'm pretty appreciative, pretty content, and I don't necessarily have anything I'm resentful for. Before, yeah, dude, like I still have a chip so big that I divided it in half and put it on both shoulders because it just doesn't fit on the other shoulder. So like kind of a pissed off, cranky dude, and like part of what used to and has always turned me on getting out of bed in the morning is I want to go like hit something in the face.
Yeah.
Not someone, just like life. I am a little bit bitter, and I always wanted to go make up for it. So at first, maybe being overzealous. Now, not so much.
But you find your happiness in the gym or like stuff with fitness.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, the gym
Like, that's
keeps
what's
me out of
gratifying.
jail. Like, I would kill everybody if I couldn't go work out. Between working out and eating, Those are my two like gyms. I'm mostly a pretty introverted, shy, quiet guy. I stay at home a lot. I don't do a whole lot of much. And I tend just to kind of stay to myself. But, you know, we said we have a lot of clients and athletes. Like, do we have some phenomenal people? So most of like my close friends, like I get to work with them, my clients and athletes.
Yeah.
And it sounds silly. Like, what do you do for fun? Like, I don't know, every day I literally make up a job. You know, so if these like 6 companies, I mean, they're all made up. There are thoughts and ideas. They're not real. I mean, obviously they're real. Like they're registered. Like we pay taxes. We're real. I don't mean they're not real. Like I made them up. But
I was calling 911 right now.
Right? Yeah, you see the Jeremy guy. But that's the coolest thing to me is like this is a thought, an idea, and a concept that is completely non-traditional. It's not real. The same thing. Like we're in a room doing this podcast. You guys are doing clothes. There's girls out there doing squats. Like, dude, where are we? Like, we get to literally make this up. Yeah. And that's the coolest thing to me is all this work stuff and the companies. Like, we get to make it up, and it works. People like it. They're into it. They identify and connect, and you know.
Yeah.
You guys got hats on. Like, we're real. These are jobs.
Yeah. So one thing you said you got sponsored earlier. So when you got sponsored, that was well before social media and everything.
Social media wasn't big, probably.
So how did that even happen?
Honestly,
what do they expect you to?
I don't really know. I think it was simply like lift big numbers and like kind of spread the word. I had like an Inzer sticker on my truck. The main sponsor that I got that I held for the longest time, even up until a little bit ago, was Titan and like Anderson Powerlifting, SPD sleeves and stuff like that. Yeah. And after I tore my arms, anybody who was working with me dropped me. And
that sucks, dude.
That was kind of shit. Like I got super depressed. I was super down. Like lose a bunch of sponsors because in my mind, like lifting is everything, and this is what my life, my career is going to go off of lifting. And I can't lift. Like I'm nothing. And so I don't really know what the expectation was. I just got lucky that like good companies treated me pretty well. I got some free shit. I get paid a couple bucks if I'd win, and I just was getting by. Yeah. And it was I think at the time just like figuring it out. Like you see everybody wants to be sponsored, right? Whether you're a bodybuilder or you're a lifter, like I'm sponsored. Use my promo code discount 20% on da-da-da, right? And like that's cool, but it's like as long as you know that it's a hobby. Like, did I get much out of it? No.
Yeah.
But it helped me set up
bills.
a platform to do other things to then make my brand or make my money or to get more experience or an idea that helped me out to get somewhere. And I met cool people, and those are cool people that I still work with. If I need a favor, which is what I've noticed I need a lot of lately, I always have given out a lot of favors.
That's just how it is,
for very few, but with our new gym opening, I constantly am calling someone, being like, hey, remember that one time? I need a favor now. And everybody's cool. They give them right back. So
well, that's what you hope, right? You keep putting good stuff out there, and eventually it'll come back to you when you need it. You know? So
I'm buying into it a lot more.
I feel like that's why
that idea and concept. I used to be like I said, kind of a cranky basher that like rain or shine, like we're gonna get the job done no matter what. And I still have that mindset. But now I fully and wholeheartedly believe like the more good things I put out there, the more good things we're doing with good people, it's not gonna hurt us, and I'm not gonna be upset that I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned, like, kind of in passing that you were at Westside with Louis. Like, were you actually physically training at Westside with him?
Yeah. So the deal was, I went out to Westside.
That's like the dream.
At the time, I don't know if you guys know his name. His name is Greg Panora. And at the time, he was a 242 geared lifter, so like squat suits and stuff. And he had like an 840 pound bench press. He pulled about 830 off the floor. And I think he had an 1140 pound squat or something. His total was like 26 something at 242.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
Well, I signed up on this forum to get coaching advice. I post my videos. I'm like 18, 19 years old in my garage squatting like 800, 900 pounds in a squat suit by myself with my best friend videotaping. And he's like, dude, come out. So I fly out there. And the basic deal is I was supposed to move out there, and that's kind of what the offer was to move out there. I'd go to school there, live there, and just like go live, breathe, and die Westside. Had a girlfriend. She didn't want to move. And of course I was going to marry her, and it was going to be perfect. And so I stayed.
When was this?
I want to say we're looking at like 2008, 2009.
Oh, okay. That's so crazy, dude. Last night I watched a mini documentary on Westside Barbell.
Dude, it's crazy. It's
fucking weird.
So check this out. So this kind of gives you an understanding of how elite Westside Barbell is. When I was there was just the most yoked out guy who came over to do something next to the squat rack or the platform we were standing next to. And Greg Panora, is big fame. Like the last time I'd seen him before I met him was on the cover of a magazine. So I'm seeing like stars.
I must have seen this guy.
Yeah, you've probably seen it. He's
I'm not good with names at all.
Insane, right? And like pro powerlifters, like they're like pretty ripped. Like this dude's got a 6-pack at 265.
Oh shit.
Yeah, people don't realize that. Like they think powerlifting is like, oh, everyone's fat and squat suits.
There's all different ends of the spectrum.
No. If you're good at powerlifting, you're probably pretty jacked.
Oh yeah, if you have to fit into a weight class, like you're some sort of, you look more like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So I'm there by this rack and platform. This big jack dude comes up to do something, and one of the guys, whether it was Greg or another one of the pro lifters that I was lifting with, was like, kind of treated him like an ass or a bitch. He's like, hey, you go over in the main room. And so he had to go over. He couldn't work out in the main room with us. He had to go over there where the girls lifted and worked out with them. I'm not saying anything bad about girls. There was like the main room where like everybody in that room
everyone wants to be there.
Squatted above a grand, whether you weighed 181 pounds or like 275. Like Phil Harrington squatted 980 that year at 181. Like that's the type of room that I'm sitting in at the time.
Fuck?
And I was like, who's that guy? Like, oh, some guy who plays for the Vikings. And so, right, like at Westside, like you're starting NFL something, and you're the scrub in the room.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's getting ready for the Olympics. Shit. This person's an NFL linebacker or DN for the Vikings. When I was there, the head strength and conditioning coach for the University of Miami had stopped by just to see if Louis was there. And he's like, oh, he's not here. I'll fly back another time. No worries. I mean, it was shocking for me.
That's
I'm
before,
from a small town.
Small town Oregon, going out there and. That must have been a trip, man.
Yeah.
The main thing, I could not keep up with how much those guys would eat. That was the main thing. Like, you got to eat more. We got to get you big. And so they did. I got up to like 330, 340. Like, dude, it was uncomfortable. Like, I couldn't open my eyes. Like, walking sideways.
Probably had trouble sleeping.
Heavy. Yeah, definitely not a comfy thing. So that's another thing. You talk about like, why not going back to powerlifting? Like, dude, it's not comfortable. Like, I'm already not that I'm not functional, but like, I don't fit in my own life very well.
Yeah, right.
Add another 30, 40 pounds to that. Like, it doesn't feel good. So
I can't imagine that. Yeah.
So what's your goal right now with your body? Is there a goal, or are you just kind of like enjoying?
I'm trying to figure it out. My buddy, I've got one of my best friends. He's him and his family have a law firm in Salem, and he's an ex-pro football player. And when he was playing, he was like 350, 360, got up to like 380, 390. He's a big dude, and he's now in his 30s. And he says his primary things for working out are so that he can look good naked, kick the shit out of somebody, and keep his daughter safe.
I think that's solid goals.
I'm somewhere in that, trying to look good, feel good. Maybe at some point I want to do some bodybuilding. I was telling one of my guys last night that I was working out with here that, every once in a while I'll get like ish strong, and I kind of think like maybe I want to do a thing.
Make a comeback.
I'm like, you know what? I remember the last time I tore my arms off. I think I'll pass. So I guess maybe bodybuilding. Like it's just kind of slow development for bodybuilding. At some point I will crankily enough, agree to diet down and compete in a bodybuilding show. But for right now, oddly enough, as silly as it sounds, like look good, feel good, be healthy. My doctors like that I'm this like little petite version of me now compared to being right. So, and I want to be able to sustain the work. If I can't handle or manage our companies right now and do what we need to do, like we eat ass. And overnight, my whole point of view for bodybuilding is, although in my head I think that we're the best of the best, that overnight if we just even have a bad season, we're irrelevant. And it's not really like that, but I want to take it that seriously.
You have to always be hungry though, because somebody is always coming to be better than you.
Everybody's trying to coach. Everybody's trying to do something. Like we talked about, everybody's trying to start a clothing line. Everybody wants to be Insta famous.
Oh yeah, dude.
And you want to coach bodybuilders, like. You want to coach bodybuilders? My recommendation: don't. They're crazy, and
it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort.
I like it. I love it. I don't think everybody else should do it. But job security, and I'm supportive. We talked about what kind of fitness you're into. Like if you're into it, I'm into it. I used to think like I was a powerlifter. Oh, fuck bodybuilding. And now, whatever you like to do, go for it. So, you want to coach some bodybuilders? I don't know. You're going to learn. There's going to be a lot of crying. You're going to lose a lot of sleep. I've had a lot of crying girls yell at me an awful lot.
Yeah, that must be hard.
That's the hardest part. Is like we were kind of talking about it. Like our girlfriend or Rob's wife and my girlfriend did shows, and it's like imagine coaching like a team of those girls. Like, dude, fuck that. Like the PMS, the diet issues.
It's crazy.
It's like fuck that. No, it's
not
not
one of
worth
those things
it.
where if we say the wrong thing, we have to edit it, right? Like don't say female issues. They're out there. They're listening.
Nah, it's pretty uncut, dude.
We'll see.
It's pretty uncut.
It might help us actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
fuck those guys. They're bashing on females.
Any kind of engagement's good. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
It's good variety.
So say some crazy shit.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. We'll just take that clip and we'll throw that, and that'll be our marketing.
The
tool,
intro.
I think. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's the thing now, especially with social media. It seems like everybody's a prep coach, and they've done one show, and now they're coaching athletes, and it's like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, just online coaching in general. It's like, if you look good in the picture, people think, well, I can be an online coach then.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you like, that person may not even know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, they may have just been coached by somebody else, or.
One of the weirdest things I thought, for the most part, the things either people ask me the most about are getting big or business. You know, two non-related things. How do I get bigger? Or, you know, about developing, you know, whether it's personal training business, a gym, or something to, you know, make your revenue or your income be related to fitness. And usually my recommendation is not to. And not because we shouldn't do things that we're passionate about or anything like that, but because somewhere along the way, and I'm not sure where, everybody kind of got the idea that because you love fitness or because it's your ultimate passion, that you should make that your career.
Right.
Well, dude, you and everybody else with an Instagram and the right hashtags, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's an online coach. And I think like, well, there's nothing wrong with like being in love with your hobby and letting it simply and solely be that. And currently I own my own businesses, so like I do support the process of like turning your passion and what you want into your job and your income and everything. But it's kind of become so saturated with so many people trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell up from down anymore, you know? And hopefully people just get good enough at recognizing genuinely either good people or talented coaches. Like, hopefully people know the real deal when they see it, because there's a lot of people trying, muddies the waters. And I used to like, you'll see people get online and on Facebook. Everybody wants to talk shit on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Like everybody's a prep coach now and they just want to go and they talk smack about people.
Everyone wants to talk shit everywhere.
I want to do the same thing. But every time I go to open up my Facebook and I want to talk some shit or I want to say something, I'm like, is it good for my business?
That's what I always think.
In any way, could somebody not like me as much, associate me with a thought or an opinion that thinks less of my business because of it?
You gotta think
if
like
that's
that,
the case,
dude.
I'm like, I just don't post it.
Dude, I think like that all the time. I'm like, I want to say something. I'm like, how is this going to benefit me? Like after this is like, this is not going to do anything good for me.
Right.
So there's the thing about having your own company. Like it kind of disqualifies some of the things I bitch about on Facebook.
Oh, I think it's a good thing. I mean, even if we didn't have a company, it's just talking shit. It's just,
well, it's like how
a waste of time in
far are
general.
you going to get with that? Like you'll start this online discussion and argument with somebody, and then
no one
you're not
wins.
going to win it.
No one
like,
wins.
You're just going to spend a couple hours like going back and forth with this dude that doesn't fucking matter.
If you just sit there like, for the energy I put in, what's this going to yield for
Yeah.
me? Like I have a limited amount of fucks to give in a day,
Right.
and not a lot of energy. I've been very tired for a very long time. I'm not going to waste it on something bad. But I've seen a lot of people post that thing about how everybody's coaching and whatever right now. Like, I mean, if you're good at what you do, it's not dangerous to you. It's, if anything, I guess it's job security.
Yeah.
And,
well, if you comment, it's not like it's going to make like 500 people stop coaching.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to do the same. I mean, it's going to do nothing. So I don't know.
The only issue comes in like when people like start messing with people's metabolisms and stuff.
well, there's a lot of dangerous shit out there.
Oh
like,
yeah, dude. That's
prescribing like
think
drugs that they probably shouldn't be on.
I think like the unfortunate part is that a lot of people have to like go through the issues of, you know, hiring one of these coaches and then being like, fuck, this,
you have to have a bad experience.
Like this dude
to
sucks.
know what a good experience is.
Oh, yeah.
Because anytime I'm the second owner and I just say that, like after somebody's already had a coach and they maybe come over and started working with me, their frame of reference for the experience is totally different.
Oh yeah, dude.
Then maybe I get somebody who's never done a show before and I'm babysitting an awful lot. And babysitting is really not my thing. Like,
No, dude.
A lot of things to do and I really don't want to wipe a whole lot of asses.
It all comes down to time, dude.
But if you're doing a first show, I'm definitely going to give a little bit more time and attention to it. But yeah, you see everybody's coach, everybody's doing a thing, and they usually don't know. Like they think because so-and-so won a show or so-and-so did a show and they want to do one that like that's acceptable. You know, and realistically, like in the state of Oregon, we might have less than 10 individuals who like that's their job. What they do is they coach and they prep athletes. That's not a lot of people.
No, dude.
And then of those 8 or 10, you can start to like kind of dissect and argue like who's decent at what they do, who the good ones are, and like the good ones seem to float to the top, and every year they do well. Everybody's got good athletes though, and I mean, you go to a show, 400 clients in a show, clearly it's not 1 or 2 people coaching all 400 entries in the show.
Yeah.
So interesting industry though.
So where did you learn most of the knowledge you have?
Dude, just hop on Google. You can learn anything on Google.
Yeah.
You know?
Bodybuilding.com right there.
So kind of like I was saying earlier, I was training athletes. We had a bunch of, I used to be the head strength coach for Western. It's a small college in Monmouth. And we had a handful of guys go to the NFL in a short period of time. And my focus was simply solely athletes. I had a girlfriend who wanted to do a show. I helped her for part of it. And then Noel started helping me with a couple different things. With my background in athletics, powerlifting, and stuff like that, I was familiar enough with different degrees and protocols for supplementation, concepts of dieting related more to performance and not necessarily for fat loss per se. But I was really, really good with all the fundamental pieces of what I think you need to know and understand to coach well. Because keep in mind, you're responsible for a lot of things like hormones, chemistry, dosing frequencies, like diet, nutrition, metabolic damage. I mean, like there's an endless list of lawsuits you could find yourself in for being a prep coach. So I'm kind of surprised as many people want to do it as they do.
Well, I would say 90% of those people don't even know about those things.
And they're finding out because they did it this way or their coach did it this way. So
that's crazy.
Noel definitely oversaw a lot of that.
That's good.
Anytime I ever had a question on anything, because I had my conceptual understanding of what I thought, what made sense to me, and I could use that thought process with the fact that this dude has done all of it. Like pros, I mean, he had somebody in the Olympia in the mid 80s, right? Like this guy knows what he's doing.
So you were fortunate to have
and
a mentor.
And I asked him, I was like, a couple years go by. He's one of my best friends, a father figure, a good mentor. And I asked him, like, dude, why'd you help me? Because like this is bodybuilding. Nobody helps anybody in bodybuilding.
Right.
Now, we might be able to get online. Everybody's like friendly and cool and respectful enough, but like it's my family or yours. It's my income or yours, and my athletes versus yours. Like this is very much like everybody's got
like a sport.
Yeah, right. See, okay, then we can agree. Maybe it is a little bit of sport. It's competitive. And so I asked him. I was like, why'd you help me? And he just said, he said, you're a good guy, and you Jenny are very good at it, at the coaching thing. And so I think he accelerated what I could do with that in a short duration of time. And so every time we've had a good season or it's gone well, I think back and I'll hit him up. It's like, dude, I really wouldn't have much if this isn't what started it. Because now our companies are about a lot more than bodybuilding. And if anything, I'm kind of trying to not tone down bodybuilding, but that's not my route to the whole world domination thing. Now we have some larger projects in the mix, and bodybuilding is going to be a part of that still. We're not going to go away from it. We're not going to coach less, but we're not necessarily trying to expand that. We want to maintain it and kind of have the quality control underway to make sure we're not able to contain our company. But yeah, I mean, it really, a lot of it came from him. And then at this point, when you have that many clients, that many athletes, like I see everything.
Yeah.
The variety of like the sample that we get to get information from and people and work with is crazy.
Oh yeah, you can see what works and what doesn't,
and you develop some rules of thumb and principles and things that you agree with, like things that you agree not to do that aren't worth it. Because there's only a certain amount of things or a certain length or distance I'm willing to go to get somebody ready for a contest where it makes sense for them and for me. It's got to make sense for them first. And I think probably the biggest thing around here is there's probably not a lot of consideration for that. It's that anything somebody can do to get somebody on stage. Well, I got 15 athletes to go on stage. I don't need to rush anybody on stage. And I definitely don't need to have a crying little girl with a wrecked metabolism, a bad thyroid, and a bad story about how Alex Whitaker jacked her up.
That's the worst thing.
Word of mouth is crazy.
She's going to tell
maybe people
everyone
can say
she
a lot
knows.
of shit about me, but they can't say I jacked up their body. Because I'm just not really willing to go that far. Whether it's hormones, the food, the cardio, what it's going to be. Everybody's got limitations, and there's only so much I'm willing to do to get there. Certain people I push a little bit farther with. That's because I know the person, or I'm maybe more involved in the environment, and I can be closer on hand to know what I'm doing with it. It's just there's only so much you should do for bodybuilding.
So
it's a hobby. You don't get paid for it, dude.
You just mentioned cardio. I noticed in a lot of your posts, it'll be a transformation, and they make a crazy transformation. You always say like no cardio, or they didn't do cardio. I think the vast majority of people out there into fitness, whether probably mostly beginners, I guess, or not, think cardio is like you have to do it in order to drop weight. That's just obviously a misconception, right?
A little bit. I mean, the way that I do a lot of the dieting is I am trying to cue and design a physiology to be manipulated and do exactly what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, for the most part. Now, you hear the thing, everybody's body is different, but keep in mind, like your body runs on the same energy systems and the same physiology that mine runs on. Now, if your genetics are a little bit more for this, mine are a little bit more for that. Yeah, there's some variety and wiggle room there, but we're kind of all running on the same system.
I think most people say that as like a cop out.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just to show that everybody's program should be different. And you're right. But in general, like, it's the human body.
Right.
You know, there's X billion of us on the planet.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
we're
we all
not
have-
that different.
There's only so much variation between people.
We all have a lot of
and
similarities.
how our body responds to a stress response is very similar to the same in the chemical response, physiology. So I have my way that I like to go about the diet and what I do to time blood sugar and insulin, that I have an agreement internally. I don't feel comfortable with going carbs or calories below a certain point, and that I have preferences for dieting styles that I think are healthier for women, men, different body types and stuff like that. And my whole thing with cardio is cardio sucks. And if you're going to do it, it better be doing something. So the people that I don't like seeing where they're doing it year round, that's the hard thing. Now, unless it's part of your conditioning or your performance. Now, at that point, you need cardio for a different reason. But we're talking about cardio for bodybuilding, like the goal and the only purpose of it really is I want to lose fat.
Right.
And so my style of cardio usually is shorter, more intense sessions that have more of an influential effect on the metabolism. So the body for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours or whatever, of a period of time after that cardio, you've kind of got this afterburn effect. So I'm trying to do a type of dieting and a type of cardio that influences your physiological response, not just simply burn calories. Anybody can eat fish, eat green beans, and do 45 minutes of fasted cardio. Why are we not all shredded? Because if it was something as simple as starving and burning calories, we would all be dialed.
Yeah. It'd be easy.
So, and you know, some people's bodies are a little bit more finicky. Like I've put people through the ringer on cardio. You know, there's people that have less than glorious stories, but that's like my guy who's, you know, like, cardio doubles, triples, but they're 20-minute sessions versus like, I hear guys, it's like, 45, 60 minutes in the morning, 45, 60 minutes in the evening. I get clients who legit are doing 2.5, 3 hours of cardio. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, my coach, you know, told me whatever.
Right.
I'm like, I admire their willingness to go through hell and the attrition to like die for it, but like, let's back it up a little bit.
How sustainable is that? You know, you can't
not.
sustain that.
You know,
you have to enjoy what you're doing.
because if you put a change into a program of any kind, like an actual change, you should start to see it or feel it pretty quickly.
Right.
You know, you've got this 2 or 3 day response, maybe a week or two, depending on the person. But if stuff's working, you can see it and you can feel it. Yeah. And so the most things I see for bodybuilding is people they starve a lot and they do a lot of cardio and it doesn't work, and we're all trying to figure out why it doesn't. I'm not saying that anybody that comes over to me like, you don't have to do cardio.
Right.
Like, no, some people are just fucking unlucky. Like, sorry, like God doesn't like you quite as much and our genetics are different. You have a disposition for certain things and apparently your body, like we got to do a lot of cardio.
Right.
Still relative. And I still like to think that the way we design it, they wouldn't be doing as much cardio as they were doing maybe with a different coach.
Yeah.
You know, so if I have a person that's on 2 or 3 sessions a day, now that is like maxed out craziness, but they're 20 minutes and they're meant to be influential on the metabolism and not to just burn calories.
So you recommend HIIT training?
So my thing is like, I say sweat. So when I say, I do say high intensity cardio, but it doesn't necessarily need to be intervals. I'll just say whatever you like. I mean, if you want to do the intervals and you feel that it's more effective, like, yeah, have a ball. But like when I say 20 minutes, I mean like bleed for 20 minutes. I'm not saying at 20 minutes you stopped, like you stopped at 20 minutes, you know, like that's all you had in the tank. And that's how I have them approach the cardio so that they are getting that burst. They're not necessarily burning calories. They just get a really stressful energy expenditure.
Right.
And then the body has a nice afterburn stress response and they burn a little bit more fat at rest.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'll get a client sometimes and they'll be like, yeah, I don't sweat. Like I never sweat. Like genetically, I don't sweat. It's like, well, I think we could probably work it a little harder. Like,
here, come over and try this.
Yeah, I think there's a reason you're not sweating.
Yeah,
you know? That's interesting though. Yeah, that's the key. Just got to sweat a little bit, a little hard work.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing shit until I start sweating.
No, it's not satisfying if you're doing something.
It's
like,
that too. It's like 40 degrees in here. You guys are working out in like beanies, hoodies. Like you got a vest on.
That's key.
Also, just because my truck was cold as fuck.
We had
to crank the heater up a little bit.
I was expecting like snow. Like I did come on this trip like geared down to survive. Like I brought my SUV, which is built like a tank. I've got like survival stuff in it. Like I'm ready, but you know, kind of disappointed.
You just missed it, man. It was here for like 6 hours.
The reason I got like worked up is I saw your picture, your video of all the snow. I was like, shit, okay, get ready.
Yeah.
I was all stoked. I was going to film something cool outside in the snow for Instagram. And then I went outside like 2 hours later and it was all gone. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The other morning, Brittany was like, hey, can I take your truck to work? I was like, why? She's like, this is snowing a lot outside. I'm like, yeah, I guess. And then I was thinking like, damn, so I have your rear wheel BMW right now. And I got some snow. And I got a camera. So I didn't do shit though. I missed out. Because it all went away by like noon.
Yeah, it was gone.
It's like, fuck, dude.
Oh, well.
I don't even know why it's here in the first place. I thought it was going to warm up. It was like 60, high 60s like a couple weeks ago.
That's
And then it was like 40.
Yeah. That's the only nice thing about California. The no snow.
Yeah. Well, I think in general, our weather down here is better than
Yeah, it could be
where you're
worse.
at.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys, is it a little bit drier here? Like we get humid as hell. Like I feel.
I don't think
like,
it's
I can't
humid.
even
It
handle
doesn't
the
get really
heat.
humid.
Anything above, because where I'm from in Astoria, if it's like 70 degrees, like we swim, right? Like it's warm weather.
Oh, wow.
It's the rainiest.
No,
it's
it's
like the rainiest place in the country, and it's just cold and rainy all the time. So in the summertime, it doesn't get super warm there. It's right off the coast.
Right.
So I moved to
Well, there you
Salem,
go.
and dude, I died. I'm not built for this. Like I said, I'm designed for limited functions and limited things.
Right.
And it's doing well, and he's not one of them.
Plus,
Yeah.
when you're big, it sucks to sweat. Like I used to be like 270 and not nearly as big as you, but like that was
Not
terrible.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's not comfortable. You get the sweat and the rub between your legs, and it's like fuck.
Yeah.
I am experiencing all of those things right now that you are saying.
Like, now that you mentioned
Right.
it,
Simply trying to respect the fact that there's a camera to not move my legs in a weird way.
readjust real quick.
That's funny. So do you pay attention to sports?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody hates me in the world because I'm the world's biggest Patriots fan. And
Oh,
so I'm
fuck
not.
outta here, bro.
I'm not super well liked
Well,
in America.
Well, he's a Raiders
I'm a
fan.
diehard Raider fan.
So
Your team-
So Tuck rule.
Your
so
team
the
doesn't
Tuck
like
rule.
you so much they even moved to different towns. Like that's like I don't know what to say,
yeah,
dude.
we're,
Like,
we're having
what
having
do you
some
say?
issues right now. It's like a dysfunctional relationship. Me and the Raiders, they just keep hurting me. They keep hurting me.
I feel like
But I
last
keep
year,
going
you waited
back.
so long for last year,
Yeah, and then-
now it's
oh my
like,
God.
just kidding.
Last year, like almost ruined it. Like I was so stoked for the season. I was like, "Fuck yeah, we're going all the way this year."
Yeah,
And
no
then-
doubt.
The first game, and I was like, "All right, like, we'll get better." And then it didn't get better. It just got worse.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't really pay attention to them, but I don't know why they. It's the same thing with the Broncos. I thought they were gonna be good, and they just lost every game.
You get a pass though because you're from Oregon, so Oregon has no football team. So I can
Well, the thing is, like,
understand.
everybody
the
likes the
Patriots.
Seahawks,
Seahawks.
right? So people love Seahawks, but like we're from the state that also loves U of O, and everybody hates UW fans. So that to me is ironic that like we can't possibly be Seahawks fans.
That's funny.
Uh,
I grew up in Washington, so everybody I know is a Seahawks fan.
yeah, fuck them.
But I'm a Ravens fan.
Well, I would say, a particularly closed-minded view of sports simply because I don't like things that I'm not good at. Right? That's
enough.
not
Fair
super fair. But like 300-pound dudes have limited sports that we do well in. So I mostly like those
Yeah.
sports, like baseball, soccer. I'm like, no, stupid sport. Realistically, great sport, can appreciate it. I was never good at it. I got picked last in elementary school. So here I am to say soccer sucks.
Yeah, your ass isn't going to be running up and down the field trying to throw a bicycle kick or something.
That's funny. That goes back to the little chip on his shoulder thing.
Yeah, right. I'm bitter. Like dodgeball still got me pissed off.
Dude, imagine
Patriots.
you should do that at your like 10-year reunion. Just have
I just
dodgeball.
had it. I just had the 10-year reunion,
I just went to
and
my
like I
wife's.
felt so good. Like, oh yeah,
Just, like,
pretty princess.
Check out this
definitely.
arm. Peek check on him real quick.
Yeah, that must have been fucking awesome.
It was like definitely a good thing.
Or they like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like a lot of that. But it's a small town. I mean, most people keep track of what everybody else is up to. You guys live in a smaller area too. Everybody knows everybody, and
Yeah,
we
that's
all got a
true.
Facebook, so it's
Oh,
easier for people to keep track.
Dude, I always thought that.
Facebook has kind of ruined the 10-year and 20-year reunion. 'cause
Every-
now you
You
see
still need it.
yeah.
I still feel like you need it. In
Yeah.
my head, I don't know if you guys even know the movie. So there's Romeo and Michelle's high school
He'll-
reunion.
he'll know it. He'll
It's
know
an older movie, and in it, the nerdiest dude ever from high school shows up, gets out of a helicopter with the two most beautiful girls. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, this is my sole promise to myself. My 10-year reunion. I don't know if I can get a helicopter. That's it.
Nah,
It's
you
an
coulda- you
awful
coulda
bit of a
rented,
leap,
maybe.
but like maybe we
Shit.
can rent a thing, and then so it didn't go as planned, So I'm gonna wait for the next one. I figured that'd be fair.
You can
Yeah.
rent a Lambo next time. just roll up in one.
Yeah, that's funny with the social media thing, but like, yeah, back in my dad's day, like 10-year reunion, you didn't see anybody
Yeah,
for
you
10
didn't
years.
know that person for 10
You're like,
years.
But
Who the
even they're all
fuck?
big
Oh,
Facebook
shit.
and stuff right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they're 50
Oh, dude.
year reunion. They're on Facebook. They jam. My grandma is all about it. Like,
Oh, it's a way. Facebook's like a way of life. It's not like a social media because like Instagram's like entertainment, right? Facebook's not like, I mean, there's like memes and dumb shit to entertain you, but in reality, it's like a lot of people have those, especially older people, to like check in on their kids and like see what their cousins are doing. It's not like I don't do that on my Instagram. See,
Yeah.
it's just it's a whole different dynamic. Facebook's not going anywhere. It's
Well, the thing about Facebook is people take it real serious.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? I can post pretty much a sarcastic or a satirical comment, where I'm being ironic in a post, and my grandma hits me up like, "Hey, I just wanted to talk to you about this. Like,
is everything okay?"
She's confirming like safety and whereabouts because like general like phrases or like figures of speech, and me being sarcastic on an online post, like she's not reading it or understanding it.
Dude, I think about that. I think about that when I post like
Sorry, Grandma.
When I post something on like Instagram, my caption, I'm like, dude, I wonder how many people are actually going to understand this. Like, you actually have to like, think about it.
Kind of tailor a little bit to the audience.
Yeah, seriously. I don't want my dad texting me like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. We need to have a talk, son.
I'm like, fuck, it's just a fucking post.
It's always funny too when somebody brings up something like from social media up in like real life. Like I'll post something and I'll come into the gym and somebody's like, one of my older clients will be like, "That was so funny." And I was like, "Oh, what?" It's like, "Oh, that post the other day." And I was like that's like in one ear and out the other.
Well, it's like, couldn't you just tell me on the post?
Yeah, like why do you have to tell? That's awkward now.
Just double tap.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Dude, for the most part, I try not to spend like a ton of time on social media. Like I can see, because you can schedule your posts ahead of time. Apps and stuff that can do things for you. So I do a lot of that, and I don't get on it much. And I do notice an entire ton of people consumed were like, "Hey, did you see da-da-da on Facebook or da-da-da on Instagram?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?"
Dude, I do the same thing now. I don't have a Facebook app on my phone.
Oh, see, I
have a Facebook account. I don't use my like one I had
what
for
about
like
Twitter.
Years. Well, I have a Twitter account. Hold on. So I made a Facebook account that I have like a couple friends on, and it's mainly just so I can run business pages. And I have the Page Manager's app on my phone, but I don't have like a Facebook. I can't like scroll through and see what people are doing. And my wife, like a couple weeks ago, deleted hers.
You're not missing a whole lot.
I know, dude. Well, I realized that like 2 years ago I did that. And I don't give a fuck, And nowadays, a lot of times I'll be at home working and I'll put my phone in the other room. And if anybody really needs me, they just email me and that's it. But I'm not like, when I don't do that, I'm like, I find myself on my phone. I'm like, fuck, dude, that was like 2 hours just went by. And I didn't do shit. It's dangerous. I didn't do anything I was supposed to do right now. So I don't finally text you back. You know why?
Yeah. I'm trying to disconnect from my phone a little bit more.
It's nice.
I hate how much of an attachment to me it's become, and by necessity, you got to work, got to do your thing. And most of my job is a lot of just simply correspondence. I have anywhere between, at least on a given day, like 60 to 80 individual people will text me. Another like 40, 50 people may email me. Ugh. I have like calls, meetings, conferences, just random crap kind of schedule all the time. Facebook correspondence, Instagram's a thing now. And most of my clients find me on some sort of social media, not because like they saw me under a hashtag, but simply they were directed to me and that was their easiest way to get a hold of me. But yeah, you can spend like all day, and not like addicting per se, because like, I don't really get off on the social media stuff, and I definitely judge a lot of people for their social media. I'm like, oh, I see you with all those selfies, okay,
right?
So I think everybody like kind of thoughtful and considerate that I don't want social media to take over my life, but it's a necessary evil.
Yeah,
dude, it's
so how to do it, and. I don't know. I'm just trying. I don't want to drown in it. I didn't want to. I'm impressed with you guys because you've got a ton of people on there on social media stuff. You guys got a bunch of projects and everything. Like I would lose my gears if I had to manage that much shit.
Yeah, dude.
It gets a little stressful because like
it's a lot.
There's so many different avenues. Like there's the podcast, there's like YouTube, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, then there's email, then there's text. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean you have to do it. Like what's the alternative? You just don't manage your shit.
Yeah,
I originally. Like right before we're kind of getting into bodybuilding more like 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't have a Facebook for a while. Chick drama, let's delete Facebook, right? So I did that.
Yeah.
And so I delete Facebook, and Noel, coach, friend and mentor, said something about Facebook. I said, I don't have one. He said, you got to get one. And what? And so I put it up there, and it simply was solely to be contacted for business purposes. And now anything I do on social media, I post everything with the consideration that it's gonna make me look a certain way, one way or another. So that's why I come back to like posting negative shit on there. I never really want to talk smack or post anything negative. Funny stuff, curse a little bit, not too much, but really it's just to like show who we are, our company's work, and maybe a little bit enough about me that it's helpful for the company side of it.
Yeah. It's just branding, dude.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, because back in the day, people used to buy products from like a brand. Like they'd buy it from Nike, but no one knew who Nike executives could get fired and nobody would even know. Yeah. But nowadays, it's like people want to know who's behind what they're
Companies
buying.
are
You're buying from
individuals.
people. That's pretty much all it is. But yeah, I hate being on my phone. I say that all the time, but like my entire job is like on my
Via a phone.
But like I hate like standing around and being on my phone and knowing people are looking at me like looking at my phone. Like it's the weirdest fucking thing.
Yeah. I was at dinner
I
last
feel so
night,
uncomfortable.
and I looked over at a table, and it was like 4 people, and all 4 people were on their phone. Nobody was talking to each other. Like, this is like this is terrible.
That's
like,
just 2018, dude.
I try to keep less of that in my life. I noticed through like relationships that I've had, or even just wanting to be present around like my friends and, you know, remember part of a conversation, anything, right? I just like in general, like, okay, I can identify and I want to be on my phone a little bit less. So I will purposely leave it in another room, set it down. And I'm not the greatest about it, but like just the thought, if you can think to detach yourself a little bit from the social interwebs, like
admitting it's a problem is the first step.
Yeah, I think I see people do that so much. So I'm just like, I don't want to be that person.
No,
I could
tough,
easily be that person. Because if I look at my phone right now, there's something to handle.
I can just scroll on this thing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is it's such a deep, like so many people, like you could just be on Instagram, you like click through, like, oh, they tag somebody, I'm gonna click through there.
Then you're
clicking
like,
through,
who's this
clicking through,
guy?
and then who knows where the fuck you are, and you just spent 2 hours.
Yeah, now it's dinner time.
Yeah. And now they have those apps now though where you can actually like program how much time per day you're allowed to spend on each app. And after you reach that time,
was supposed to be used for kids,
Yeah.
and we ended up using it for adults.
Well,
like that's a parenting control thing. That's not supposed to actually be for you.
They say most apps age up. Like Instagram used to be like, or like Snapchat. Well, actually, Snapchat's more like childish, I guess. Still,
That's the one thing. I don't really have the Snapchat anymore. I was like, I feel entirely too old for a Snapchat,
right?
Because like anything you can get on Snapchat's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's still a
I deleted
place.
that too.
But I'm not even that interested in it anymore. I got Instagram. You got the Instagram story thing.
Yeah, that murdered
Facebook.
it.
I never got into Twitter. I just couldn't do the Twitter thing because it was so much.
Twitter's great.
Twitter's tough because like it's like there's like Instagram. A lot of people have Instagram, but I feel like a lot of people, even more people, have Twitter, and it's just such a just like instantaneous.
And is it
everything.
supposed to be like? Is the focus of Twitter just to like drop little one-liner comments and move on?
I look at
what
it.
is it?
I look at it as like a relationship building platform. Now, for your case, because you're in a location, you probably wouldn't benefit much from it because you can't. Like, I can't pick the location of people I want to talk to.
Right.
Like our brand, we're trying to make it worldwide. It doesn't matter who we can ship.
Yeah, we can
shirts
ship everywhere.
You know what I mean?
Australia.
Yeah. So
We shipped something to Nigeria not too long ago.
Yeah,
Like
he's stoked that he's the only Nigerian with
Yeah.
some Gunsmith. But anyways,
shout out to that
Get
guy.
us a couple more.
yeah. So we can
Be
like
the lucky few.
tell a friend. So like we, you could talk to anybody around the world and actually have a conversation because Instagram's more. Not a whole lot of like conversations like back and forth,
No, it's super
Some-
like scroll, click, scroll,
yeah.
click. Yeah.
Or you may comment one thing back,
Yeah.
but Twitter's like way more in depth. It does take time, but I get a lot more out of it. And I feel like these people, because what do they say? Like people don't forget, or they forget what you do and who you are, but they don't forget how you made them feel or something like that, you know? And when you talk to someone that didn't expect you to say something back, they go, oh shit, like these guys are dope. And they don't forget that shit. And then they, it spreads. But yeah, that's what I love the most for sure.
I kind of feel like it goes back to the thing we were talking about, like put good thoughts and like feelings out there, right? I mean, it sounds gimmicky and it sounds corny, but like
so
oddly enough, I'm
subscribe.
living way too much of my life in current moment on like that, like be peaceful, be appreciative. Like in my head, I'm designed like for war.
Yeah.
Like I'm here to cut the head off of whoever owns the other company that stands between me and what keeps like my family taken care of.
Yeah,
Like, I like to be a hard hitting, like kind of rah type of guy. And so getting into this like thoughtful, appreciative mindset, but like, dude, it works. You know?
I'm like,
These self-help books and podcasts. Everybody's got a podcast now, and the first thing I start talking about is being loving, appreciative, positive. It's got me on this kick.
yeah, we're all about like positivity, but at the same time, I think him and I are both like super competitive people too. Like, that's just, we're all athletes. I don't know. It's just how
it's just mindset.
how you're wired.
I'm really positive, but I really want to kick the shit out of you.
I'm all about like you always support people who support you. So if I see other people doing good things for me, like, or like vice versa, like I said earlier, if I take the 30 seconds to reach out to somebody and do something nice for them, or whatever, those people will feel indebted to give something back. In theory,
Well, very low likelihood of that not being worth your time If nothing else, if I waste my time
feels
doing
good,
that, I don't
too.
regret wasting my
Right.
time in that way.
Yeah.
You know, I've been enough of a cranky prick like in my life that like I don't, you know, ever really want to be again. I feel pretty good about
it feels
the, like,
it feels
approach,
good
you know,
too.
even if it's wasted, even if somebody
Yeah.
you know dicks you back or like or whatever, doesn't pay the dividend like you hope it is by putting positive out there. Like I think it's still live with it a lot better than being an ass.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, karma's real, whether you believe
Right,
it or not.
it is. I'm just sitting
If
here
you don't believe
walking
it,
around
you will
looking,
believe
like,
it.
for the hammer to drop on your side.
I know.
Waiting for it.
Yeah, it's legit.
It's not too late to get some good karma, though. You know.
No, I don't think it ever is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, shit.
You want to do some quick questions?
You got some?
Let's do it, dude.
All right. Oprah or Whoopi Goldberg?
Oprah's running for that's a real thing. Like that's the question game. Like,
No,
it's
like,
like,
you
what
get-
do you see and feel when you see this shit?
No. You get what you get.
Word association.
Who are you gonna smash?
Smash?
What do you
pass?
mean? Like, who am I going to fight or like who would I take home?
Take home.
Oprah,
Like
for
you get
sure.
a chance.
Oprah's a boss.
Oprah.
I mean, probably some things
That's
I'm
an
not
easy
ready
question
for
right
yet,
there,
but
dude.
Oprah.
I can see that.
Coconut or no coconut?
No coconut. Hate coconut.
Fuck
Ah.
yes.
Sorry.
High five.
It's not a conventional or mainstream anything. It's shit.
Fuck yes.
Coconut's not good.
You don't like Samoa Girl Scout cookies?
That's not even really fair. That's a lot.
Oh, do you like 'em?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so-
not like
no, that
Oh,
doesn't-
shit.
That's different.
Hey.
Though. That's not coconut.
We'll let the viewers.
That's not coconut, dude. You can't add chocolate and
coconut
other
on 'em.
shit to it, though.
I don't eat coconuts at my house.
No, but like
when I
it's
refer to
not- it's
coconut,
not like he's drinking coconut water or something. Like,
I don't like coconut water. I like everything with coconut. Do you think pineapple belongs on pizza?
I do. Yeah.
Fuck yes again.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
This is bad.
2-0. 2-0.
No, the first one's that's a
Ah.
0.5.
do you have
That's
an
a 0.5.
unconventional set
That's a
of
point-
tastes,
that's
and
a
we're now
0.5.
like all aligning against
That's
you
a
on the
0.5.
side.
Well, he's never won one of these debates, so
I'll put it on Twitter and like I'll be like, oh, who fucks with coconut? And like I'll be winning for a while, and then like I swear, Rob just like goes and recruits all these random fucking people to go in there, and they end up beating me by like 5%.
I'm not trying to be weird, but like, so your sentence and your phrase. I saw your guy Jeremy last night.
Yeah,
What did you say? Like coconut, you what with it?
I fucks with coconut.
And I don't. Okay, so I learned this a while back. I didn't understand that. I had a buddy.
Oh, okay.
He lives down in San Francisco.
That's
and he said it, and I was just like confused.
What does that
What do you-
mean?
Like you're gonna mess with it?
Are you gonna
Like-
actually fuck
Like
coconut?
no, like we're like it's good, it's cool. Like I fuck with it. I'm like I don't. Okay, again, like break it down for me. Like I don't understand. I get it now,
Yeah, dude.
I don't say it. It doesn't sound good like when I say it, but like I hear it and I at least now know what's going on.
that's funny.
I think Jeremy's rubbed off. Jeremy says it all the time.
he
he says it.
He fucks with that
literally
phrase.
fucks with everything. He fucks with everything. Yeah, like I mean, there isn't anything after last night and having like dinner with him that he doesn't fuck with.
What was he? Do you know what he was eating last night? Because he's trying to cut 40 pounds.
Oh yeah, they have a bet.
Was he on pace
He's
to
gonna
do
get
that?
$240.
I don't think his cut is going like super well. Other than the fact that he said he's been honest. He's like I eat like once or twice a day, and just yeah.
I bet. So
I can't do that. I used to be able to do that. And we were trying to talk to him. I was like, dude, you're a young guy. Like, don't do it. You're going to snap your arms off. Going to be a has-been. You're going to be like me.
That's
it.
his biggest argument for why he doesn't want to cut is because he's like, oh, I feel like I'm getting stronger, so I don't want to cut and like lose that strength. It's like,
Dude, strong is like
it's all relative.
is a whole other thing. Strong is like, dude, there's 18-year-old kids out there that deadlift 700 pounds. That's strong.
Yeah,
wasn't
None
there
of
like
us are
a
strong.
wasn't there like a 15-year-old chick that was deadlifting like 500 or
China.
or she was like Russian or something?
yeah.
Who knows what's going on over
Just
there?
There's a lot of things out there that make me feel bad and make me consider like maybe working out isn't my thing. I've got a
Yeah.
women's bodybuilder, a gal that I sent to NPC Nationals this last year. She took third and she's a badass, but her legs, and she makes me like not want to go to the gym. Her husband is a huge bodybuilder and her legs even beat up on his.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we were at Record Breakers down in November, which is like big powerlifting meet, and Steffi Cohn was there, and she's like Sherry size, 120 pounds, and she's pulling 500, and it's like, fuck me,
It just
dude.
doesn't make sense.
Like I feel like a little bitch right
I
now.
always wanted to be like that kind of strong and would like that's so convenient.
Like, yeah, because she's got abs and everything. It's like, god damn it, like why can't I be like that?
Yeah.
Well, I think too, like powerlifting, it's cool now. Like powerlifting is cool. Like I said,
Oh,
when
it's
I did
mainstream.
powerlifting, it
Oh,
was
it's way
not.
cool.
It was not very cool.
It's way
Now,
cool.
like every gym, like powerlifting gyms, CrossFit gyms, everybody's hopping into it.
Yeah.
You guys got a handful of girls getting ready for meets and stuff right now too, and so it's way more mainstream. It's definitely cooler.
I think
it's definitely a lot cuter than it was before.
Oh,
too.
man.
To be totally honest, like I only ever saw like 1 or 2 girls at a powerlifting meet. It was like 10 years ago, and they were like for sure like way bigger than me.
Yeah,
It's
a whole different dynamic.
That's all like we can thank like raw powerlifting for that. Like
weight
before
classes,
it was
right. Like if you're in a weight class, like you're fit.
Yeah,
and it's a lot more accessible to people because like getting a bench shirt and learning how to bench with a shirt on or learning how to squat in briefs, it's tough. Like the average person's not going to take that much time to do that, but everybody can go into a squat rack and just squat with like knee sleeves on or something.
Yeah, it's a very simple, like
Easy
3 things.
Entrance.
3 things to do.
Well, just the concept, like it feels good, like being strong.
Oh yeah.
Now, like girls that lift, like our fitness industry is something that has just never been before. Like now, if you're a girl, every girl under 60 goes to the gym 5 or 6 weeks and has at least 2 leg days or booty days, like grandma included. So it's a whole other different thing than it used to be. Yeah. Even when I was in college, this would have been, like maybe a little bit before, but same time around you in college too. Like not a lot of girls went to the weight room.
No,
right? Like
it was only if you played a sport, you were in the weight room. Yeah. But if you were just an average like chick at the like going to school,
it was like treadmill.
You weren't in there. You were on the treadmill. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
So
now everyone.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean that's the thing.
Well, that's also, thanks to social media, like everybody wants to like get free stuff. Everyone wants a sponsorship. Everyone wants, I'd say general population wants, some acknowledgement of, oh yeah, you look good, or, it boosts the ego. So, you'll see girls in there and, they want to look good and feel good and post it on social media. And
dude, just the amount of information out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could,
yeah, because like
anything.
when we were growing up, because you're about the same age, I'm a little older than you. You didn't really learn how to. If you had a good strength coach at your high school, that's how you got your information. Like there was, or you'd get a magazine, or you'd. Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, I got a big ass thick book from the strength coach at UNC, and he wrote it and had all the programs that the football team followed, and I got that, and I was reading that, and that's how I learned how to work out, really.
Yeah.
Like it was,
or you just look at other dudes in the gym.
Yeah, you couldn't go. Like bodybuilding.com wasn't really a thing. Like I don't know. You couldn't.
Yeah. Then I got lucky. My first powerlifting coach was a guy. His name's Gordy Olson, and he was all of like 5'2", 5'3", and he was a 165 pro lifter in the 70s. He won a bunch of world championships, and this is like when powerlifting didn't have 30 federations. Like world championships was simply like the world championships.
Yeah. It meant a lot.
And I think he had pretty close to an 800-pound squat at 165. He pulled a little under. He was like 750, 760 deadlift and 165. I mean, this dude was nuts. And he looked like a bodybuilder. And so he was my first powerlifting coach, old Finnish dude, and he was probably in his 60s at that point, and he was crazy. And he introduced me to my next powerlifting coach, who was a 181 pro lifter, and he squatted like I think mid 800s at 181, and we're talking like 70s and 80s, dude. Like
that's
so
insane.
Even in gear, like your powerlifting suits, like they didn't do anything back then. It wasn't real compared to now. And that's how I got kind of introduced to Westside and stuff like that. So I got lucky, and I got big dudes that were nice to me when I was young, and I was the goofy kid in the weight room. So for our gym, I kind of want to have that same thing. Like I need to make sure 15-year-old chubby me finds his way into my gym. And it's not that I don't love hardcore gyms and culture, but I kind of like everybody gyms. Like there's some girls bouncing around. There's some dudes doing a version of their own CrossFit. Like I'm trying to lift, do my thing. There's some bodybuilders. I like people and movement and a pulse to a gym.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be necessarily DMX and rage, against the machines for me to get a pump. Like I've been lifting in shitty gyms my whole life. You give me caffeine and headphones and I'll be just fine.
Yeah, you're good.
But it's kind of cool to go to a place and get like a good vibe. I think that's what we want to have for our gym is like, I want that kid, like me specifically, I want him to come in because nobody ever knew whether I was talented or not, whether I would or wouldn't be strong. And I didn't get a whole lot of help. Yeah. And the people that did help me, like I said, I just got lucky. Yeah. I went to the gym and a couple big dudes or juice heads, they got me into some lifting and here bench press, here incline, here decline. I wasn't doing anything, fancy, but like I got to get taught by big dudes how to lift weights.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Now you can hop online and in 30 seconds you got a certification, you're a nutritionist, you got your own website and a fitness business.
30 seconds. 15 seconds.
Set up a website with Wix, you're golden. Yeah. It's cool. That's a cool idea. Like reaching out to like the local high schools and stuff maybe and trying to find some of those kids that don't really feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like because it's an esteem booster. Like you start getting a little stronger, you start maybe seeing a little bicep vein or something, and it's like it's a game changer.
I remember growing up and like getting to the gym and stuff and seeing like a new vein in my arm.
Oh,
I'm like, oh shit. Like it's so tight.
It's so real right now.
I mean, like imagine if I knew what I was doing too.
Yeah. And that's crazy.
Yeah, that kid will never forget you.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? If there's some kid that's kind of shy and stuff, like, and you like take him in,
oh man,
like,
you're making his week. You're making
We're
his
doing
week.
a lot of stuff.
and then when that kid's 25, he's like a fucking monster. You know?
Yeah, and
like,
I
you never
feel
know.
like it kind of comes back like that, and I'm hoping that it does.
You have a lot of empathy for like
Well, a lot of my
those
guys,
kind of people.
when I was coaching at Western, all those dudes are coaches now or older, and I remember them when they were kids, and it's funny to hear them tell. And we're talking like similarly aged guys, but they were in their kid part of their college career when I was the head strength coach, but I was the same age. It's kind of an ironic and weird situation, but we made it work, right? It was weird though.
Yeah.
That like I coach guys that were 4 and 5 years older than me, and I'm coach, like I'm daddy, and you say yes, sir, right? So it's kind of a different thing. But to see him like years later have him tell a story or something about, oh, dude, like when I worked with this guy, and they talk about me, like I'm like some like 40, 50-year-old like coach, and they had like, oh, old Coach Whitaker. I'm like, dude, I'm 3 years younger than you, right? Like you're 32.
That's awesome.
I want to make sure that we have that, and we're doing a lot of stuff to integrate into the schools. We've got a pretty cool large strength and conditioning facility within our main gym, so there's a separate weight room within our building aside from the main weight room, and we do performance training. It's power racks, big 150-pound dumbbells, chains, bands, bumper plates. It's just an athlete weight room. It's bare bones and simple, and it's where we work with a lot of our athletes. And
that's gonna be cool.
You got kids in there, and that'll be my favorite thing. Like kids are way more fun. Like they still have a dream. Like as much as like my dream is cool and ours is cool. Like do you remember what it still felt like when you were playing high school football to go play in college? Like that was a real
NFL.
thing.
Here we come.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Like I'm on the level. I'm like one step. You might not know about me, but I'm almost there.
Well, Mooney's training some younger athletes right now. It's like
and that's my favorite one.
It could be the coolest shit ever in a few years, and like you just watch them flourish. And, like,
when you
that
watch
dude gets a scholarship or something, it's like fuck.
When you talk, like, do you have any idea how big of a deal it is when you talk to a kid, like what you say, like it just soaks in them. I've seen, like, I made little kids cry because they took something I said so seriously. I'm like, dude, it's like, I'm just, hey, let's relax. Like, you're good. Like, we're cool. But I love that. The kids absorb so much. And to me, it's kind of that pure thing. Like, they're still fighting for something. Like bodybuilding is a hobby sport, powerlifting a hobby sport. Like they are my sports after. Well, for me, they were like my main sports to make money first. But originally it was supposed to be like most guys before they get into powerlifting or bodybuilding, they were a football player. Like you were still fighting for a scholarship or a job or a thing. And with the kids, I just still love that. I think that's the coolest part of them is like they still got a shot. So they buy in, and like when I say something, they listen. You know, they cry, they're scared. Like it feels good. So
that was the most fun was when because I was the strength coach at Southern Oregon for a couple of years, and that was the most fun when I was training those guys because it just had such an impact on what they were doing on a daily basis. You know, like they're still fighting for next season. They're still fighting for hopefully playing after, and it's like. That's a cool environment to be around. It's like the college weight room or the high school weight room. That was some of my funnest training moments is like being in those. Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing you have to appreciate is that as far as like getting in the weight room, like you really have to like put in the work. Like talent only gets you so far. And I think all of us are doing the same things, whether you're like, you were the baddest son of a bitch on the planet and you've been like this since you were 8 years old and you're a big bodybuilder or a lifter or an athlete, or I wasn't really much like I'm a chubby, goofy, shy kid with like social issues. Right. So I'm not a whole lot to look at. And then later on, I'm a big guy. So you might think like, if I was like, was I this big dude in high school? No, I was a total puss in high school. Like not good. And that whole like I can come in here, I can get better. If I put in the work, I'm going to get paid for it. Now some genetics pay a little bit better than other genetics, and that's just what it is. But like either way, like I work, I get closer to it, and that simple concept to me is still what I like the most. So in a weight room, you will see the smartest people you've ever seen and the dumbest. Because 45 pounds is still 45 pounds, and we still, whether you're a big dumb ogre or you're a little bit special in the head and too smart for your own good, like you still get off on like progress in the gym.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's one of the like rawest forms of like you get exactly what you put in. Like you're not gonna look jacked unless you put in the fucking work. Like there's genetics play a role in it, but there's no real shortcut. Like you can't just
like if it looks cool, it took time. Nothing looks that cool. It took a long time to build it. Even folks more talented, and I have seen some guys and some of mine they're so talented that they could put anything in their body, lift a little bit of weights, and they're just not going to lose. Like bottom line, their genetics and the way their talent is not going to lose to anybody in this state or the next. But I don't even like that. Like I don't think that's that cool because I want somebody to work for it. Then I've got some dude who has no right to be on a bodybuilding stage as far as like genetic talent, but the dude just like gets it.
Animal, just working.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
The people
That makes me feel good.
everything against them, and they still perform and stuff.
Yeah.
So you said you had somebody in the Olympia, right?
Yeah, so we had a girl named Carolyn Hudson Harris. She was from Metroflex down in Long Beach, Iron Addict, CT Fletcher.
Okay.
So when we went down there, the guy
How'd you
Dude,
link
super
up?
random. I was in Downing's gym in Corvallis. It's an old powerlifting bodybuilding gym. It's been there since the 80s. About 30, 40 years old now. And I was down there and I was working out one day. I was getting ready for, I think, the LA Fit Expo, and then from there I was supposed to go to Romania for Strongman. And I bump into this girl, and I'm like, "You're oddly very shredded, very well built." And I was just like,
How
so
did
we
that
start
go?
shooting the shit, right? I'm in this room doing like an 800-pound yoke, running back and forth diagonally because the room's too small to actually work out in. She's doing like some like kettlebells in the mirror. So we just start shooting the shit. And she says, "Yeah, I'm an IFBB pro, and I just won my pro card this last year." And so we touched base, and she needed some help training and stuff like that. So started working together and just had a killer year. Won her qualifying show, made it to the Olympia, made a lot of progress. And she's in, I don't know exactly how old she is. I want to say she's early mid 40s now. So like that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not common. Like, you don't see like 43-year-olds like walk up on stage and like spank 28-year-olds on the ass in the Olympia. Like it's pretty cool. Wow. And so that was about 2 years ago. So that was kind of around the time, like for us, bodybuilding was like taking like a major, takeover. We went from like, we've got a lot of clients and athletes to like, we kind of want to set the tone, go a little harder and maybe step on some more fingers, win a little bit bigger thing. We're definitely an aggressive company. We want to be respectful, be polite, have a lot of friends, but like I did come to like make heads roll at a bodybuilding show. Like we don't come to look bad. We come to make other people look bad.
Yeah. As you
in
should.
a friendly way.
Like that.
Like it's my company or yours.
In the most polite way.
Yeah, right. Like with the
possible.
handshake. And bodybuilders go, we know all the judges and the promoters and the folks and the athletes. Like there's a lot of like a good family feel to it, but it's still a sport. We say it's a sport, maybe.
I would say, well, look, I consider it kind of like figure skating. Figure skating is a sport. It's in the Olympics. It's judged, It's kind of the same thing.
Figure skating's pretty badass.
It is badass.
I got Rob like sitting there considering on whether or not he considers like figure skating to be
Now
like
that's a very good comparison though.
Yeah.
Anything that's judged, it's hard.
It's judged.
And
It's
the
subjective.
thing with, is it a sport? Yes, it's a sport. But anytime you judge it, you have a margin of error and conception that can obviously go wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where people say that, or maybe because they're not doing something so specific to like, lifting a weight or doing like a coordinated movement or sport or whatever. But like snowboarding, dancing, gymnastics, kind of the same stuff. It's presenting. I don't know.
That's fun. I never really. Yeah, I heard people say bodybuilding's a pageant. I hear people say that a lot, and not a sport.
That's an awful lot of drugs, an awful lot of things for a pageant.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah,
I don't know. Pageants go pretty far too. You see some of these shows where they've got like,
Well, just like
6-year-old beauty pageant
judging.
moms like killing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just by the judging.
Bodybuilding is definitely, it's just its own thing. And if you're doing it, you're doing it. You really don't care what anybody else is saying about it for the most part. You're going to, do the sport regardless.
I've seen other people argue that, like, if you look at the training and like what it actually takes to get to those points, like that's the sport of it.
Yeah.
Like the actual
sport
training,
is the prep, the process to getting there.
Yeah. A lot of people think it's like just being on stage.
Well, for me, like the amount of stuff that I have done to my body, put it through, and what I've been willing to go to compete on a platform or on a blacktop for Strongman, whether to get paid, win, whatever I had to do, what I had to do to get ready for a bodybuilding show was so overwhelming and so unreal in comparison.
Yeah.
Now in my sport, so we have like Emerald Cup here for bodybuilding. Emerald Cup is one of the largest shows in Oregon or Washington. And it's like, it's the real deal, right? If you win Emerald Cup, like you're a badass.
Yeah.
Well, in my sport, in Strongman originally, the same level show, like our version of Emerald Cup or whatever for the biggest show like in the Northwest is also up in Seattle. Well, for me at like 2021, I would just win that show and piss all over everybody. I go into bodybuilding. Dude, I go to bodybuilding show and just get the floor mopped with me. So it's just a completely different thing in itself. Like bodybuilding is just kind of its own beast, and it's got its own people. It's got its own hashtags. I mean, everything, right?
So
It's a community. It's a community. It's growing. It's kind of cool to see how far bodybuilding's gone, even in like the last 3-4 years. It's everybody.
Well, and it's now like, well, what is bodybuilding? Because like now bodybuilding is a lot of like hashtags, joggers, and like Gymshark hoodies and like
Stringers.
stuff
Don't
like
forget
that.
the stringers.
It's a very
Stringers.
different thing than what it is, because the majority of what I see and who I see in bodybuilding and in the gym right now are people that are just going for the aesthetics on like what you have to take or how you have to diet or train to get a good looking body is a little bit different than, oh, I want to have like, I need to close the gap between my 21 to 22 inch arms. Like just the eccentricness between that and like, you know, looking a little good, feeling a little good. You're like fashion style. Like every girl right now lives in a pair of yoga pants and Nikes.
Oh yeah.
For sure, dude.
I don't know, like, and not everybody's competing, but everybody's following the same people, buying the same stuff, doing the same things, hashtagging the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
So like our whole like bodybuilding industry, like right now, like it's just consumerism. Like that's what it is. Like we're just all in like everybody's like wanting to buy and spend on stuff, and hopefully it's our stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like we're hoping that it's like let's buy some Gunsmith, and some West Coast tanks and stuff,
exactly.
guys.
Yeah. If you guys want to buy all the same stuff everybody's wearing, go to gunsmithbrand.com. So thank you.
That's what all the cool kids
This
do.
podcast is also sponsored by Gunsmith Clothing Company. So. But let's get back to the random questions. What's your dream car? I know you've had some pretty sick fucking whips.
When the
I like cars,
franchises-
so that is a bad thing, right? I have bad habits. I won't say any other bad habits, but like one of them is
Didn't you have a
definitely
6
cars.
Did you have a 6 Series?
Yeah, I got a 6 Series M Sport that I picked up a couple years ago. And
You still have that?
I do. It's about to go bye-bye. And then I built a couple big trucks. The last I had a white show truck that was built. That was my favorite thing. I built an SUV, a big, jacked up thing a little bit ago. Dream cars, Aston Martin. I made myself a promise that I was going to drop this Aston Martin
Tom
before I
Brady?
turned 30.
Tom
Say
Brady?
Tom Brady? No, okay, I didn't even know that. So no, I did not. It's not like I had that before. And as much as I'm like,
he
stole your
Yeah.
dream.
like screw Tom Brady because I had this going on beforehand. They don't pay me to say I want it either. But I like cars. But the only thing is I don't fit very well in a lot of cars. So like,
Yeah, that's the issue, is
I
you're
have
big
to
as
negate
shit.
that choice for like what I would fit in.
Well, custom Aston Martin,
Yeah.
make it a little long.
I don't even know. Is Aston Martin... Where's that from?
Is it British?
I don't even know.
It's
I feel
foreign.
like it
It's
is,
foreign.
'cause
It's super
I know it's
nice.
foreign, but I was going to say, if you're ever looking for a really nice car, German cars are built big on the inside.
So yeah, like my 6 Series, I can just lay down in that thing. So I
Right,
have that,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because Germans are naturally big people, so that's how they always built their cars.
Yeah, I like cars, anything. I don't even like going fast. I just like shiny stuff, and I don't care if anybody else sees it. It's not to like to post or anything like, oh, fancy cool cars. And
You
stuff
just like
that.
cars.
I just really like it. Yeah, I come from absolutely nothing. Like, and I didn't have a whole much like growing up, and like poverty has been like pretty extreme at different points. Enough to be like hungry, count pennies for food and stuff like that. So like. I like cars now.
Yeah.
And it's not to show anybody. It's just like I just want to drive fast and listen to some gangster rap, make myself feel like Pablo every once in a while.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's also like a sense of accomplishment. Like once you finally buy that Aston Martin, you're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah!" Like,
Yeah, that's what I always think. Like cars are just
And all these
symbolic.
things, I can make this stupid decision. I want that one.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I always crack up when people are like, "You're paying that much for a car?" Like,
I pay that much to smile every day.
yeah. That's
Every
what I was
time you
telling-
open the garage, you're gonna look at that and be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, that's what I tell my wife. So she's about to get rid of her BMW, and like she's looking at other cars, and people at her job are saying like, "You're gonna pay an extra like $200 for this, and et cetera, like save that $200." And I'm thinking like, you should go through their life and see what they spend, like what other dumb shit they spend $200 on.
Yeah.
Because and if you love cars,
Which I do.
then so be it.
And I'm not really a spender, fairly frugal. Like, dude, the price of like mustard and like toothpaste goes up at the store, and
Dude.
I'm a resentful bastard.
Dude, we bargain
I'm
shop
like, what?
everything.
Dude, like $2. Like, I don't even need toothpaste this
Yeah.
week. I'll be back. I'll be fine. And I still think about money just like that. And like, I had dinner, and I'm like, dude, $40. Like, goddamn.
Dude, we
With this
bargain
gym
so much.
project we are going on like. We have contracts that are like, oh, this one is like an X million contract, and this is for hundreds of thousands. Like, let's get a check sent out for that. I mean, just the scale of what we have to spend for this, and that feels fine. But dude, like, I don't know, like toothpaste goes up, and like I'm having a strong consideration on whether or not I need toothpaste this week. Like mustard, okay, that went up from 79 cents to 86. Like that's 12%. Like that's way higher than inflation.
Dude, we do this.
Economy must be going bad. Like this isn't good. I'm like concerned leaving the store pissed off. And so I still get anxious about like small money like that, but like cars, oh, I love cars.
I'm the same exact
It's
way.
worth a
dude.
smile.
Do we bargain? Yeah, like I remember prices from the last time I was in the grocery store. I'm like, that went up. It's fucking bastards. Raised like, ranch dressing 30 fucking cents.
30 cents.
Yeah. But then I'm like, fuck it.
You're about to
dude.
lose
I-
my
I-
business.
Making a raid on other stupid shit. But I love that stupid shit, so
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Makes me happy, makes me smile. Like I said, I'm pretty frugal on like most things, so anything that I maybe go over the top on, like if it's a car or whatever, like nobody needs 2 cars. I'm like, so many functions.
I don't know, man. You weigh 300 pounds.
Right?
Do whatever you want.
Like we have to like
Tell
it's
me
like
I
having
don't
another
need-
shirt, okay? It's totally functional. It's fine. It's not eccentric.
Shit.
Favorite cheat meal, man? What's the go-to?
The classic question.
Pizza, you know, I like food. I could probably get away with, like, in order to maintain weight, like 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day, and I won't really gain or lose anything.
What are you doing right now? Are you doing that?
No.
Like calorie wise?
Probably like closer to like 5,000 or 6,000 a day right now. So I actually started dieting a little bit ago. I wanted to lose some weight. In my head, I was thinking maybe I want to roll a show or do something with it.
Right.
And I ended up having like another nightmare of a bunch of logistical issues with our company to have to do stuff. And I was like, maybe now isn't the time to try and play with, you know, fire and diet a little bit. So it's like 90% I eat clean. All my meals, every single thing is weighed from a scale. If anything, maybe I don't eat enough sometimes. But I'm supposed to be, you know, 5-6 meals a day and roughly 5,000 or 6,000 calories. It's a lot of food. So
10K challenge would be no problem for.
Yeah, dude, all I need, just give me like an hour and like make me hungry for like a day, which means like I just have to follow my meal plan. If I follow my meal plan, and it's not a lack of food, the food tastes great. There's a lot of it. I'm not like starved by any means. I'm just cranky because like, you know, cake and pizza and those things make me smile.
Yeah, it just looks good.
I need that.
How often do you indulge in something?
I could probably get away with like once a day. I could like have something like fully bad and be okay, still get all veiny and stay in pretty decent shape. But I want to say like on average, like I'll do like maybe 3 or 4 like celebratory like big things a week. But I try not to go over the top. Now, if I'm dieting and like I haven't eaten anything for a while, like I'm about to black out. Like, in the next like 2 hours, like someone's going missing. There's like 8,000 to 10,000 calories have been somehow absorbed into my body somewhere.
Right.
So I could definitely maybe go a little bit overboard on the cheat.
So when you have one of those, what is it usually?
For real?
Like you just have
like
stuff
a
at your house?
family-sized pizza that's half pepperoni, beef, and olive, half Hawaiian with olive. I usually get a big dessert thing. Maybe,
Dude, if you
maybe
can't handle a family-sized pizza, like
who are you? What do
you
you
ain't
like,
shit.
I know. Like,
You
I know
are training hard enough
A
if you
girl,
can.
Yeah.
you'll see a hungry girl who can throw down on a family-sized pizza.
dude, can you imagine going into like the grocery store and picking up like a medium pizza and you're
Or
like,
like one of those little
this is
personal
good.
ones. Like, fuck that.
what are you thinking, dude? Fuck out of
I'm kind of a creature of habit. Like it doesn't take much, but I just do the same things over and over. I eat the same place, the same pizza place, same restaurants. I always order the same thing. I'm simple, you know.
Yeah.
If it's got butter and cheese and carbs and fats, I'm probably gonna smile.
See,
Sold.
so I used to be like fat in middle school, and my dad used to always say to like the waiters and stuff like, if it's yellow, he'll eat it. like it was, like the waiter would be like, do you want a side salad or whatever? And he'd look at the waiter and be like, no, if it's yellow, he'll eat it. So bring out some like
cheese,
macaroni or some shit.
Some bread, some butter.
And I was like, yeah, it's true. You know, bring it on. Grilled cheese.
That's a good point.
Cheese and bread. That's it.
I'm a foodie for sure. You know, they say the two things that release the most amount of dopamine that's your brain's like feel good drug.
Right.
Sex and food. Both of those are legal, so I feel like as much like food, like that's our jam.
Huh.
It's
I
between
could
those
see
two
that.
and then meth. The third is
meth.
like meth. All those are like
It's always
similar enough
meth.
for dopamine release is food, sex, and methamethampine. So
Shit.
we're in Oregon, so
Yeah.
like, hey, I feel like
Southern
those
Oregon
are all
is
so
special,
accessible, right? Like meth right here.
Yeah. It's probably more accessible to food.
Yeah,
Speaking
it's-
of, I for sure passed some like questionable characters on my way out here.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Fuck.
I'm like, what's going on over there?
Dude, I was like,
And the dude's wearing a Gunsmith shirt too, right? Like,
well,
is this the guys?
from the Goodwill, probably. You know,
Yeah,
I
dude.
donated a bunch like
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and
That's
so
funny. So
he probably was, honestly. But no, I went for a run actually around here. Like we're in like the middle of nowhere, basically. But I went for a run like the other night, and I was just like running down that street over there, and it's like fucking 8 o'clock, like pitch black, and there's just like some random fucking dudes just walking right by. I'm like, this is not,
dude,
not
I always
cool,
see
man.
I always see those guys at like 11 at night riding around on their bikes, backpacks and
Yeah,
stuff.
walking
I'm like,
their dog or something.
I'm like, you're not going to class. Like, what are you doing right
what's
now?
in the backpack,
Why are you guys
bro?
all out? There's like 3 of them. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, how does this blow your guys' mind? So I had a buddy of mine owns a large investment company. He was traveling in China. He comes back and he said, "How was it? How was China?" He said, "It was awesome. He had a good time." Owns one of the projects or one of the companies he owns is a large shoe company. And so they're over there meeting with the manufacturing plant, and he gets there and he said something to ask the guy. And he said, "Hey, homeless people. I don't really see any. Where are they?" And I was like, "Homeless people?" And he's like, "What do you mean? They don't really have homeless people in China. Like that's like it's right. Like what do we got? 1 billion people or whatever? No homeless people. I live in Salem."
There's one on every block.
Like Salem is like, we got a lot going on. It's pretty dirty, which is weird because it's so rainy and so shitty here. I wonder why there's so many homeless people.
And it's cold too. Like
it's really
here.
cold.
Like I always wonder, like
that's true.
Why are there so many homeless people? It's fucking
it
freezing.
does not feel good here.
Go to LA and sit on Venice or something. Like
and at that point when we went there, that was one of the things I noticed in Venice was like, dude, this is a nice place to be homeless. But in China, they don't really have that. Like if you're like mentally, you've got some mental stuff, like the state takes care of you, or not state, the country takes care of you, provides like some sort of setup or assistance for you.
Yeah.
And then if you just are flat out homeless, like there's like small condensed housing set up for you.
What?
So
damn.
Yeah.
Well, I think Seattle. I don't know if it's Seattle.
Somebody doesn't allow.
Somebody gives like train tickets to homeless people so they can leave.
Yeah. No, they do buses. Like I was in when I was in Vegas for the
which
USA.
is a fucking awesome idea.
Not too bad, right? I was in Vegas for USA Championships a year or two ago with an athlete going for a pro card, and when we were on our way to the airport, you had an Uber guy, and he said that they had just given like 2 or 3 buses of tickets for people to put them in to go to Colorado or something.
Yeah.
Just send them to somewhere else.
Right? Like,
yeah, you handle it.
I'd be hella mad if I was the city where they bought the bus tickets to. Like, fuck. Now we just got like 300 new homeless people.
Dude. Something I thought I had heard the Seattle thing was like they don't allow homeless people. Or there was like a big thing that happened. So there was whatever the event that I heard about was there was like a big influx coming into Oregon. And I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
So I live in my little shop's out in Monmouth still, where I do a bunch of clients and sessions, and it's all sorts of. I've never even seen a homeless person in Monmouth.
We're not doing a very good job of selling the location.
Yeah. Our gym's in Salem. Our new gym is in Salem. It's gorgeous. It's a brand new 15,000 square foot building. It has every single piece of hammer
come
strength.
visit.
If you're homeless, come visit.
Ever made, but.
But if you're not at the gym,
there's some disclaimers to all this,
That's funny.
Well, that was like, what's his face? Forsaken Warrior. He was homeless for a while, and he would live in his car, and he would go to the gym and shower and change and and train, and basically the gym was his bathroom. That's where he would go.
Well, I think Rob Bailey did that too.
Did he?
Daniel and Bailey used to have to go to the gym they own now is the gym they used to work out at.
Oh, yeah.
And he bought the gym, which is super dope. But she used to have to go there. Yeah, because he had a story saying like he had to tell her parents one day that he cannot afford to turn the water on.
Oh.
And he was like super embarrassed and stuff. But she would go to the gym and shower. I think they probably both did. Mm-hmm. They would shower at the gym and like work out there and stuff. So people have some crazy fucking stories. I think the majority of successful people
have some story.
Have some shit like that, dude.
Yeah.
Or went through some crazy stuff.
It's just kind of good to hear. Give you like some there's some hope in the world, right? Like why do comic book characters exist? Why do superheroes exist? Like Stanley asking, like people needed them. Everybody always needed a hero. So you see people doing stuff you want to do, and hear a story that's maybe resonates with you. They're like, wow, I guess like you don't have to start off like gifted, talented, or with much, and like the whole like. And it's not something as simple and trivial. If you pray and you take your vitamins and you work hard, things are going to happen. Like, you know what? They don't. Like, it's not quite as simple. Like, you're going to maybe have to hit a little bit harder, step on some toes, and pray and get some luck along the way, too. But I feel like of all the good stories I've heard, and I've known quite a few, like, significant, like, mentors, friends that were influential in their industries and weren't even fitness related, just in what they do. They're, like, badass at what they do.
Yeah.
They have kind of all of those similar stories.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Where you can see where it like took a turning point and like the rubber finally started to meet the road, and all the time, the energy put into it, and now we're doing something. Because by the time you've heard of anity, the amount of time and energy and work that they've put into this is astronomical. By the point you actually know who somebody is, like, we're talking years and years. Like, their whole life story is into this. And so many other people's are too that never make it. And that's just kind of, how it goes.
Yeah. Not everyone's going to make it.
And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the fact that, like, I was trying to hype somebody up a couple years ago, and I asked him, I said, do you listen to music when you work out? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, do you get, like, hyped up? You get worked up? Like, what sort of, mindset do you get into? And she just kind of said that no, she listens to music that she enjoys, but doesn't get too pumped up. Getting her ready for her first show, ex-girlfriend. So we're talking like 7-8 years ago. First time I'd ever gotten anybody ready for anything. And I always get pretty amped up when I lift. So I say, close your eyes. I'm going to play a song for you. So I play this song and I say, okay, do you understand all the time, all the energy, all the work and everything you're about to put into this? And are you willing to go that hard, be that uncomfortable, be alienated, lose your friends, and really pay such a heavy price for such a small reward? And she, wants to be, tough. She nods her head. Oh yeah, I'm ready. And I said, so you're going to do all those things. And you know what? You're going to lose. And that's a fact. You will not win that show. You're 19 years old, 20 years old, whatever she was, and you're not going to win. You're going to do all the things that you have to do to win, and you're going to lose. Are you still okay with that? And at this point, your little girl's crying, right? And she says, yeah, I am. And I said, and that's what it's about. Simply and solely, if you work hard and you pay your dues, that you're going to get paid back, you gotta have to be okay with the fact that you might not get paid back. Yeah. But you're going to remember, you're going to be better off. You're going to figure out your stuff. You're going to be a better dad or a husband or whatever it is that you're going to be because of this. But, most of our stuff is failures. Most of my stuff,
sure.
I don't have a huge template of how to do things well or be successful yet, because I mostly have how not to do them and how to screw them up.
Oh, dude, everyone has that.
And that's the biggest thing for us, figuring out what's going to go well for new club, how we want to take our company. And now that we've got this platform, what do we do with it and where do we go with it? Is a lot of trial and error, and more of the error than the success. So I guess it lets us know what not to do, and that's kind of where we're figuring out how to do things. Yeah. But everybody's the same. They've all got the same stories. You want to be a badass investor, a banker, you design wedding dresses, we make, or a CrossFit gym, whatever it is. The commonalities and the ingredients for those things and being successful, the tools, it's all the same. There's no secrets to it.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, the trial and error for sure. Yeah. But you have to be, not everybody's willing to do the trials.
Well, how often you get online, you see everybody talk about the grind, right?
Oh, yeah.
What is a grind? Grind means friction. Friction is uncomfortable. We're human beings. We're not designed well to sustain stress. We don't like to be uncomfortable. No. So for every person out there that's talking about the grind, I don't know, that's an awful lot of people.
Yeah. How many of you are actually grinding away and struggling day to day to accomplish?
And I'm not saying it's because you have to. You know what? No. We're designed to feel good, be comfortable, fart, eat, have sex. We're designed to be, we don't want to have stress. So I don't think everybody needs to be chasing that grind. I'm a weird person that gets turned on by weird things. I've got an interesting past background and a certain set of mental characteristics where I'm kind of a screw loose and I want to do certain things. I don't think everybody else should want to. No. But man, everybody's got an awful lot of things to say about the grind. I was man, we should be, surrounded by pioneers and
everyone's a millionaire.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, dude. Time of opportunity.
I just noticed a lot of that. And it's not bad because I think a lot of it is people need to feel better, and I get it. There's a lot of things I've done to make myself feel better, and what not to do to make myself feel better. But I see a lot of people that, for whatever reason, social media is that platform to do it, to talk about yourself and. For all my haters, nobody fucking hates you. Nobody
even knows who you are.
Yeah, really, that's not bad. It's not because you're not important. Your family loves you. You pay tax. You're still a person. You're an American citizen. It doesn't mean nobody loves you because you don't have haters. But it's just, I feel like we all get in the habit of making so much noise that being realistic about your environment. Nobody hates you. Yeah. You just were cranky that one night. You're good.
One night. Yeah, you go to their pictures, not one hateful comment anywhere. I was
but
not one comment anywhere.
And you've followed bodybuilding. You got to see that stuff all the time, right?
Oh, dude,
this is for everyone who said I couldn't. Nobody ever said you couldn't.
Yeah. I don't remember anybody even talking to you about that. I didn't even know you were doing a show.
Yeah, I don't really pay any of that stuff any mind anymore. Really,
and you shouldn't, dude.
Unless those people are actually have a noted background or they're credible. It's if people just, I get it, but at the same time, it doesn't matter.
It's your first start. To get into social media, you have to start doing the same gimmicky shit everybody else is doing, and then maybe figure out yourself a little bit more. For me at this point, I don't really have a lot of extraneous or extra energy to care about things I don't care about.
Right.
Which makes life, friendships, living, everything work so much more enjoyable. I don't do anything I don't want to do anymore. Yeah. I learned so much to stop giving a shit about, trivial small things and say real things and do real things. And, it seems to work out.
I think it always works out.
And it was advice given to me. It's not like I figured out that way. Most of it's advice given to you. Okay, maybe I'll listen.
I think it always works out, dude. When we first started, I said, every single thing we do, I just wanted to be us. I don't want to try to do
It's
anything
got to be
else.
genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the stupidest people in the world can still tell when you are being disingenuous.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Like they know the
It's
real
easy.
deal
It's
when they
fucking-
see it.
dude.
Oh, it's easy.
And
No doubt.
you might be able to, if you're faking it, you might be able to get some people to drink your Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to tell that it doesn't really stick because you're not being genuine.
Oh,
Yeah.
you get called out soon. Like
It's obvious.
It'll last. Maybe you'll have some immediate success for like a couple months, maybe a year, but then eventually, like,
Yeah, dude.
you can only keep up the facade for so long. You'll get caught slipping, and then
Yeah.
you're fucked. You can't come back from that.
Well, I think just lying to everybody's, it's hard.
Yeah.
Being real, you literally have to do nothing.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
live.
That's
You know what I mean? But if you like say this shit, you slip up once, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know? So I think authenticity has propelled our brand more than fucking anything.
Anybody's.
Anything.
And I think it's important you start to learn to be able to conjugate it. Like you see what makes other people feel good. And I'm not being disingenuous by doing more of that. You just start to learn what works well for people, what other people are benefiting from, what they like to hear, what's doing and going well. And there's still versions of you.
Yeah.
Like any trainer in the world, like if you got 10, 15 clients a day, you have to be 10 or 15 different people.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all versions of you, right? That's
Yeah.
real James Mooney, but this might be a slightly altered conjugated version that like Stacy needs you to be.
Yeah.
That's
And
funny.
so
Or-
I feel like our work environment's a lot like that.
Or you have to, you have to put the same energy into each and every single client. So yeah, it's still you, but you have to like amplify it a little bit. Maybe you're not feeling amazing, but you have to amplify it because that person just saw you. Like you can't just take your shitty day into that person's session. Like you have to,
Especially personal training.
yeah.
When you're selling yourself.
Right.
Like you're just marketing yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, we talked about a lot of shit today.
Did.
I feel like a variety of stuff, yeah. Like
We
nothing
covered
said.
all.
I didn't regret anything, and I didn't say anything that at one point I was like, "Oh,
No one.
I didn't mean to say
Yeah.
that one out loud."
You didn't
There's
incriminate
no
yourself.
felonies have been admitted to. Nothing's
No.
incriminating. Can be indicted here. There's no reference point for this and my future like being bad.
Yeah,
funny.
you're good. You're good, man. This is
Shit.
fun though.
I think this is
Information.
probably the best one we've done.
Yeah, we covered a lot of.
Or my
lot
most
of good
favorite,
stuff, yeah.
enjoyable one.
Maybe we could just like sit here and bullshit about random stuff.
We could probably keep going.
I
for
do
another
like the
couple
fact you
hours.
said that we could cuss, and I didn't want to embrace
That's
it
what
too
everybody-
much because like I have to constantly like.
Well, that goes back to what I was just saying though. Like we cuss a lot.
Oh, I swear
We don't-
more than anybody.
We don't do it because we like think we should or want to. It's like it's just how I am. You know what I mean? So we do it on here. We were not trying to be like, okay, no cussing. We need to do this because this is how you be successciul. You know,
That's one thing. So
people
this-
watching, they're like, dude, I love it. Like,
this new place we got open, like I have employees, like a lot of them, right? Like I can't apparently. So I've been told I can't say fuck quite as much as I may normally
Such a
do.
good word.
And there are some parts of my behavior that may be frowned upon or semi-abusive or taken offensively.
You don't want to catch a case.
So as we're opening this thing up, I got to like learn how to be like professional-ish boss.
that's smart. Yeah,
Well,
that's a talent.
and that's corporate, Alex. That's like a version of yourself. So it's kind of like what we were just talking about. Like
yeah,
you
gotta
can
learn to
still be
censor.
yourself, but you got to kind of, just be conscious of other people's feelings a little bit, so you don't get sued.
Yeah, okay, that is the thing. Like I'm really my grandma and I were talking a while ago, and she's a business consultant, does bookkeeping and all sorts of different stuff. So she's been a really good tool for me as far as navigating just business organization and practices and those things. 'Cause I didn't go to school for that. That's not
Right.
my thing. I went to school for exercise science, health, biology. I don't know, structures and organization of corporate practice, system design.
Yeah.
And she says something. She's like, "Yeah, I'm so shocked you haven't been sued yet." I was like, what do you mean? She's like, "Well, I just thought by now, like we've been doing this a long time. We're like 10 years into our career. Like I just thought you'd be sued at this point." I was like, "Thank you. I really appreciate." Yeah, right. Like everybody knock
Jesus.
on wood. I really don't want to be sued. You're not coming after much. I already spent it all on the gym,
Yeah,
guys.
right.
So like, you're thinking now,
You gotta wait a couple more years.
It's not going to be a good one. Like it's all empty. Come after my debt now.
That's funny. You guys could have a year free at the gym. That's,
Yeah,
that's
right?
pretty much it.
Give away something.
Have to go anywhere? Are you out of
I'm
time?
just sitting.
You're
I'm
just
just sitting. I ran out of amino, but like I'm pleasantly like sweating and I feel pretty good. Again, like I wasn't sure. I asked you like several times. I said, "Hey, what is it you want to talk about?" Because like I'm a little autistic. I need to be semi-organized in my thought process in my head before I get there.
Yeah.
So that I don't say anything that I didn't mean or don't remember.
Yeah, most people are like, what do you guys talk about? And it's like,
We start
Talking
and then
everything.
we end between 45 minutes and 8 hours later.
yeah,
Somewhere in there is where we'll end it. I don't know. It goes back to the, we could like structure this and like have like, oh, we're going to talk about this and this and this, but then it goes back to that being the real. Like, it's not organic. Like, people.
Well, just like, what do people want to hear? Like, I mean, every podcast kind of has a different focus and different thing it's going off of. Some people it's to know the personalities more. Some people it's subject content and like a specific guest, and it kind of all depends on how you want to do it. Us, if it was just bullshit and like talk about life, and hopefully somebody absorbs it and it makes them a little bit better, or they can laugh at us in the meantime if it doesn't make them a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, just like something. If you could just take one little bit out of this, it's helpful. You know, who cares?
My first RA, when I moved into my freshman dorms, there's so many rules to living in the dorms when you move into college. And he said, we're not going to talk about any of those rules. I'm going to tell you one thing. And if you can do this one thing, we shouldn't have to talk anymore at all for the rest of the year. And he just said, don't do stupid shit. And so that was the one thing. And about 2.5 months later, we got in some trouble. I don't remember. I threw my roommate's bed out of the window. He threw my pillow out of the window, and I was angry. So I took his twin bed, folded it, and pushed it out the window of the 4th-story building in our dorm room. As I'm sitting there getting yelled at, it's like, what did I say? What was the rule? Don't do stupid shit. That's it. One thing. Don't do stupid shit. So if you did take one thing from this, I would just simply say don't do stupid shit, because it really works pretty well.
I would argue that that's impressive as fuck, honestly, that you folded the bed and were able to fit it through the window. I mean,
yeah, let's look at this from a physical standpoint.
From an engineering
like, let's appreciate the small points of this, and like let's not frown upon.
What type of bed? What brand of bed was this?
Yeah, that's impressive, man. He should have patted you on the back.
I was still strong then too. It was cool.
You should have folded him in half.
Yeah, he's going in after. Oh man, living in the dorms was kind of crazy. Did you live in the dorms multiple years or just one?
Just that freshman year, and I broke the wall like twice playing Madden or NCAA football. I threw a controller through the wall. We had to patch the wall with the controller in it. We couldn't get the controller out of the wall.
What?
Yeah, dude.
That's fucking
just went in and dropped out.
Yeah, I had a bad night. I was like, I was technically like, I was arrested for an MIP. I was 18 years old. I got to miss the Super Bowl, and when I arrived home from my dorm, the Super Bowl had already been played, and the Patriots had lost to the Giants on one catch. I replayed the game on my Madden, and I lost by the exact same score that the Patriots had lost the Super Bowl. And I immediately turned through the controller through the wall, and also immediately
through the wall
was I don't know if you want to say intercepted or approached by public safety. So
damn, dude.
It all turned out. I ended up becoming a staff for the college, was a faculty member. Like, we made up for it. We're fine.
Dude, that would have been the best YouTube video
Seriously.
ever.
That's impressive, dude. I wonder if the controllers. It'd be even more impressive if the controllers still
work. No, it is. Like,
it's gotta be.
They made me physically patch the wall where it was, and I mean, we're talking like, through the middle of that wall, like 5 feet up, and it's down and it's in. A lot of passion.
They're gonna tear that building down one day and find that controller and be like,
how the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
What's the story behind this? Yeah.
They won't even know and recognize what it is at that point.
Put it in the museum.
Anger problems, dude. You just gotta be careful.
Damn. Well, shit. Do you want to, for like 30 seconds, you want to just plug whatever you want to plug?
Yeah, so pretty basic thing. I do an odd variety of projects and stuff like that. The main thing, and what I care most about, I have the most fun with, I have the most money tied up in, and fear, anxiety, dreams, all of it is our new gym. And it's in Salem. It's a brand new 15,000 square foot building, brand new equipment. It's completely decked out. It's got every toy ever in there, and it's not supposed to be necessarily a hardcore gym, but it's not a hardcore gym. It's just got culture. It's got a diverse set of, community members. I want everybody to come in our gym and feel good. So that's really the only thing that I'm plugging for the most part is, if you want a bodybuilding coach, I'm a decent one, but I'm also very busy. So maybe don't hit me up for that yet. But our new gym is pretty exciting, and a lot of people are pretty stoked on it. There are people coming down to shoot for some magazines, do video series, podcasts, and folks coming to do some interviews and stuff like that for the club. So that'll be really cool, and we should be open here in May. So that's it. That's the plug. It's just, come check out our facility. If nothing else, like, if people ask me, like, is there anything you need help with? Like, you want anything? Like, just tell people. If you tell somebody, if you know anybody in, on, or around Salem or Oregon, and tell them Alex Whitaker's got a gym, it's West Coast strength, and it's awesome, and it's perfect, I'll do the rest. If they just come in and check it out, I'll do the rest. And I think they will really like it, because this isn't a gym that I really have seen honestly, in Oregon, in Washington. I haven't seen a concept or a facility quite like this. And I don't think we reinvented the wheel by any means. I simply think in Oregon or Washington, you just haven't seen or felt something that's this unique and this big. Yeah. So I think people will really like it.
It's awesome, man.
Where can they find you? Like, do you have a website? Or?
So WCstrength.com. Yeah, super simple. WCstrength.com is where we're going to have our website for pre-enrollment. That's going to launch here in a little bit. Instagram, I hop on. It's just Strongman_Alex. I don't even do Strongman anymore. Like, what do you guys think? Should I change that? I mean, I haven't done Strongman in like so many years, but what do I call it now?
Shit, I don't even know. West Coast
Bradley
Alex?
Martin, like just at Alex Whitaker and like hope that it sticks.
Do it, dude. Although someone might have Alex Whitaker already.
Somebody probably has that.
Somebody already has James Mooney, and I tried to get it a long time ago.
So you just attach a number to your name and say that you're the original.
The number thing, yeah.
The official Alex Whitaker.
The real
Alex Whitaker.
So yeah, we just got our website, a little bit of Instagram, and I'm not a super big social media person, but I try and put enough content up that people know what we're doing, they know our brand, and more of it just to have a narrative that we are a homegrown company. We kind of started honestly from nothing, and we've got a lot of cool and nice supportive people around us. We're pretty appreciative. Try and be humble enough and cocky enough. I mean, we probably did a little bit more of that in bodybuilding where, yeah, I'm definitely here to like not talk shit necessarily, but like I came for a little bit of a fight, and I have to get in my own head and make it competitive in order to get my organization on the top. But for the most part, we just are pretty appreciative of good people around, and that's kind of what our gym and our club is supposed to be around. It's not our bodybuilding company because this gym is going to have thousands of members. Well, we don't have thousands of members of our bodybuilding clients. Yeah. It's going to be everybody. It's going to be a community fixture, and it's going to be a place where even if you don't like me, I bet you like this gym. I bet you'll have a good time there. So if you don't like me, still come check it out.
Yeah, you don't got to like him to go.
Damn, dude.
That's awesome.
Well, shit.
I'm stoked for that. We'll have to come up for that.
Yeah, come check it out. Come film, hang out. We'll have a good time, and we will get a lot more into filming and doing stuff. My thing, I really like videos. Yeah. I really like doing some film content and putting that stuff out there that people can kind of see what we do, get a vibe for it. My brother does filmography, videography. He's over in Cambodia and Vietnam shooting and traveling, and he does all of our stuff. So right as we open, we'll train with a bunch of different folks and athletes. So come check it out.
Okay.
Throw some stuff at us.
Fuck yeah.
Wow. And for those of you who don't know, Salem is right next to Portland, pretty much.
God damn, we are that small, aren't we?
Right?
We have to explain. In the
Isn't
state
it right?
of Oregon, the capital is actually Salem, okay?
No shit. I didn't even know that.
And we're about an
Dropping
hour south
knowledge.
of Portland, and it's one of those things I've heard about enough people wanting to come and like drive and check it out. Like your wife, she's like, I can't wait to come and check it out. Like to me, that concept blows my mind that somebody is interested in on a weekend coming and just like getting a workout and getting a guest pass on a Saturday. That's worth the trip. Like I can't wait to see how many just like different people and faces and stuff like that come across our facility. Like the weekends, I bet are going to be a blast because every Saturday you're going to see every size, shape, and color of weirdo in there working out, you know, coming from out of town and doing their thing. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's a trip. We get some people coming, driving through and
I'll stop by.
Yeah,
it's
pretty sweet.
Eric.
It's a cool experience.
We had a dude last night talking about on Twitter how he wants to book a flight from Texas to here for his birthday.
Dude, people
just to work out with us and stuff, and we're like, let's fucking go, dude. Yeah. You know, and he's all stoked, and you know, it's just. But at the same time, it's like, it's crazy to us to think like somebody who actually wants to do that for like such a significant day.
We back up to like we were saying a little bit ago. Like that's the coolest part about this, about Gunsmith, West Coast, make up any name of a small company that's like doing well and doing some cool stuff is. It's an idea. You realize like a couple years ago, this stuff didn't exist. It wasn't real. The coolest thing is to see somebody and other people attached to your ideas and something you care about. And like, they're into it too. Like, I mean, we're a real company. Some dude wants to travel here from Texas to come work out with you guys. Like that's real. That's cool.
That's crazy.
And to see just like kind of consistent examples of like, dude, we're really doing it. Like, all right, cool. It's just some affirmation and like, oh, it's not all a futile cause. It is worth it. And like other people are into it too. And I think that people are kind of contagious for other people. Like the right types of folks, you'll notice people are just drawn to.
Oh yeah.
I always like to think and hope that people are drawn to me for good reasons or for whatever. But when you can start to see that, like, I mean, whether it's a good gym, a good atmosphere, a good product, a good service, like people come. You know, like they come, like they want it, they're into it. So you guys are doing the real deal too. So it's kind of cool to see, but it's like, man, all those years of hard work, like, not too bad. It's just cool to see it pay off.
Dude, we were pushing shit out of my closet, like, you know,
a year ago.
It seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
you know, I still have all the racks in my closet, like at my house and stuff like that.
And it doesn't take much for the rubber to meet the road, and all of a sudden, like,
dude, yeah,
we're doing it. Like, you know, stuff's going or moving. Like, you know, now it's on you to keep up. That's the crazy part is that before it was on me to establish the flow, the pace, the tone, and now I'm just trying to keep up with my own projects, my own company, and my own people.
So true.
Stay on top.
It's a good problem to have. You know?
Yeah.
Can't say it's bad.
That's awesome.
Well, shit, I think, like I said earlier, I think this podcast is probably my personal favorite. I don't know.
I've enjoyed it. It's the best.
It was just awesome.
We flowed. We did good. We didn't say anything bad.
No, I don't think so. I think it went pretty well. So
nice. I appreciate it. And I want to see you guys and everybody else. Come check out the facility. I think, like I said, once you see it and feel it, you'll get what I mean.
Yeah.
It is a happy medium. Everything. Like I've been in like Westside Barbell, the most hardcore gym in the world. Right? I mean, there's nothing crazier, dirtier, or more like raw than that. Like I was terrified, dude. Like being in that gym at 19 years old, like I peed myself at least twice. But gyms like this, because we're all chasing that like feel good vibe. Like I don't know if it's the colors, if it's the people, or if it's just every little detail.
It's everything,
all
dude.
adds up. But like vibes and substance is like what I get off on. Like that's like that makes me like excited.
I think
something.
I think that's just human nature, really. I think everybody's like that.
And just putting the idea out there, like I mean, at this point, I've talked so much shit about this gym that like it better be cool, right? Like for all the stuff I've said, it's going to be special and shiny and smell good, taste good, look good, feel good. I think it will. But the main thing will be those people are going to come with the idea in mind that we've put in their head, and they are going to take care of the rest of it for us. Like they're going to be why it feels that way. We manage the flow, but they bring the energy, they bring the vibe, the spirit, and all the stuff, and we just kind of create the box for everybody to play in.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to check it out, dude. Because I mean,
cool.
The fact that you're so passionate, it goes back to me what I was saying of like supporting people who support you, and I don't know, we're just all in this thing together, and especially organ stuff.
It was too small.
There's like nothing. It's like what? I'm trying to just be homies with everybody and watch people.
There's
flourish.
no reason not to be.
Exactly, it's stupid.
At this point,
there's enough success to go around to everybody. Like
I just want a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I know, dude. For sure.
Don't need much.
I just want a Ferrari and an Aston Martin, okay? Like, just one.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one. So,
we'll get there soon.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and tell a friend. Same thing goes for iTunes as well. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. It helps us spread a lot.
Yeah, it really helps us grow the channel.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys that have left reviews already.
Yeah, there's like, we're not many, but we're up to like 20 something.
Oh, it's a bunch.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Or
It's
30.
It's close to 30, I think.
Yeah, that's,
So it helps. It really helps us get higher on the iTunes charts, and so more people can get exposed to the podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, we appreciate having you on, Alex. Much success in the future.
Like, how do we close this thing? Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
We're obviously still trying to figure that out.
If you don't come to my gym and you don't come visit and I don't get one t-shirt, severely offended, somebody's going to die.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we can sign it off with that. So I'm Rob TRAMONTE.
I'm James Mooney.
Alex Whitaker.
And that's it. This is the We Are Gunsmith podcast. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Take it easy.